think I'm ready. That.
Hi, Scott.
Oh. Hello, Tony.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I was just listening to you discuss Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah, that's okay. It was an interesting discussion, even if that was sometimes if I haven't seen a random Trek offering recently, I will go and immediately watch it, kind of halfway through the episode or right after the episode. Not going to do that for that one. So
no,
I mean, I've seen it in the last 5 years, so I'm good for a while, I think. So
I saw it last week.
Hmm.
I own it on Blu-ray.
Wow, dedication.
Well, I bought a set that included all of them, so
that'll do it. Yeah,
it is very pretty.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I don't know.
You don't need to watch it.
Yeah, I've seen it several times. I've gotten what I need to from it. I mean, I don't know. I watched I think there was a weird confluence of things where I watched the fourth movie 3 times in 3 months. I watched it once for fun, and then I think there was a podcast about it, and I was like, I should watch it again. And then it was showing in 70 millimeter at a theater down the street from my house, and I was like, well, why not? That was a lot of Star Trek 4 in a short amount of time, but I don't feel bad about that. That was just Star Trek
4 is you could rewatch that a bunch of times.
Yeah, it keeps being fun.
Hey, it works.
Oh, yay! I don't know. I tried multiple ways of inviting people, so something worked. So that's good.
That was the link in Slack. It totally worked.
Oh, great.
So
this is a dumb question. Which campaign are we in Roll20? There are several that are.
We are the Incomparable, I believe.
Okay, I clicked on that one.
The original.
I saw Georgia in it, and I was like, that can't be right.
Yeah, she was once a member of this campaign.
So you just kept the same campaign file going.
Yep, I'm lazy.
No, it works.
All right,
This has worked well for me.
I'll see you people in 20 minutes.
Bye, Jason.
Goodbye.
It's like I have better things to do.
Well, I'm gonna make something to drink and stuff. Okay. This map is not reflective of where we are because a lot of non-map based things happened since we left that map.
You guys were just
that tunnel
hanging out, and then you assaulted some police officers, got kicked out of the town, and saw some graves.
Are we in Freedom? Is that where we are, or we're near Freedom?
You are outside of Freedom at the moment, on a hill, looking at some graves.
Yeah. Okay. So the Freedom is the closest settlement, but we're not currently in it. All right. I'm gonna go putter about, but I'll be back before 3. So.
Okay.
Do you need anything from anything tested? Anything? You're good.
I'm good. I just wanted to get this working.
Yeah. Cool. All right. See you when I see you.
Bye.
Ominously.
Why do I have so much crap on my desktop? This is called the Stone. Stone Monastery. That looks good enough. Excuse me. All right. Ah! Stupid desk. Hello.
Do I have all my inputs right? Can you hear me?
I can.
Hallelujah.
And it sounds like you're even talking into the right microphones.
Miracles do happen.
Yay.
So I'm going to try D&D Beyond for my character sheet today, and we're going to see how I do with that.
You are brave.
Huh.
I'm going to try and use it for the adventure text, so we'll see if that works.
Have you, so is that your first time, is this your first time doing that?
Yes, I have the book next to me in case I find it too cumbersome, but...
Yeah, that's like, yes, paper character sheet. I do still love you.
See, we need backup, but I think it'll be good.
All right.
I think I'm going to close some applications.
I do wish they laid it out the same as the paper sheet, because now I have to figure out where everything is.
Yes, I haven't actually looked at... I created a character, and then I got distracted, so let me see. Oh no. Apparently I abandoned this character.
Oh, bless their hearts. Heart,
Oh.
one heart. Time Lord?
Oh, you never know. Yes. And they are apparently working on a native iOS application, so
That would be nice.
we'll see if that's any good. I will say, I still think it's overpriced, but D&D Beyond is very handy, so I'll give them that.
Yeah, how much? It's several $100s a year?
Not that overpriced, but it could be, I suppose, because you have to pay a fee monthly or yearly. I opted for yearly because it was cheaper, and then you have to buy all the books again,
Right.
which is the annoying part. But they had some kind of thing where if you paid like, I don't even know how much it was, maybe $200, you got a year and like all of the existing books that were there, and then like 20% off lifetime discount for any new material that
I think
comes.
that's what I was remembering was that $200.
Yes, so I did that because I figured I play a lot of D&D. Why not?
It's Tony.
Hello.
Tony.
Hello.
Did you successfully make a beverage, Tony?
I did. I made some chai.
Oh.
I think I'm going to run and grab my sweater, but I will be back.
I'm wearing a sweater.
You're prepared.
That's right. I've got dice. I printed out things. I'm ready.
Just need some more players and we're good.
That's right. Well, they have 2 minutes.
I see that there's some rather large avian creatures circling this tower. I think that was described to us.
Yes, giant vultures.
They do look large.
They are big. And we'll see if you guys decide to go to the tower or go somewhere else. Whatever you want to do.
Whatever.
I prepared for multiple things.
That's good. That's how we roll.
That's right. Well, I was prepared for multiple things last time, and we didn't actually do any of them, so I didn't have to prepare that much today because I figured maybe we'll do something.
Mm-hmm.
Or not.
Have we taken a full night's rest since our last thing?
You got kicked.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. You got kicked out of the town.
I just assume so because we've traveled and stuff, right?
You went to Freedom. I assume you hung out there for a little bit, and then you met someone who was like, "Hey, let me show you some graves."
Dark Sun, what a lovely place to meet people.
And you said, "Of course, we want to see graves.
Why wouldn't we?"
Yep. Okay.
I wish I had a better place to put this screen.
Tony, do you have a link handy to the Google Doc?
I can make one. I should probably open that up, huh?
That's what I was like, I should maybe have that.
Just go this way.
Let's see. I have 2 files called Total Party Kill Dark Sun Notes. They're probably from different campaigns. This is the right one. I'm pasting this into Roll20, Aline.
Okay, thank you. And I'm gonna bookmark it.
Scott, does this adventure have a name? Is it like...
This adventure does have a name. It is called...
Are we allowed to know it? It's something... Prince...
Yes. Princes of the Apocalypse.
Ooh, that doesn't sound foreboding at all.
You have not met any of said princes yet.
Am I one of the princes of the apocalypse? You have to tell me if I ask.
Yes. We have
Roll a
not met...
d20.
That's right. This session is about killing Tony's character.
Well, Dan will be glad for the break.
Well, the twist is that the other characters will kill Tony's character, not me.
Jason looks scared.
Oh, he's wearing it. Oh, he left.
He was wearing like a tie-dye shirt before, so...
Oh, yeah, he switched to his ampersand shirt.
I just took some cold medicine, so I'm relying on that to like keep me alive through this. We'll see how that'll go.
Yay.
What could go wrong?
Jason wants this YouTube link.
And that was in the wrong browser, so I switched browsers. Hope that was dramatic, though.
It was very dramatic.
Good. That's what I was going for.
Like a Star Trek red shirts thing.
Ah,
Nice.
there we are.
I can
Spoilers
tweet out.
for all of Star Trek.
Oh, there it is. Scott has done it.
I have. It took me a little bit to actually try get it to copy and paste because every time someone said something, the focus would change, and I could not get the
Wonderful.
link. But I got it. Dad is running late.
What?
I saw that.
Seems unsurprising.
Irresponsible.
Yeah.
Let me go with the wind.
All right.
Hideously unprepared myself. I need to I need to get my recordings set up and stuff.
Oh, I should do that.
I was telling Scott that I'm going to try to use D&D Beyond for my character sheet instead of my paper character sheet, but it's so different. It's like it's just my brain has become accustomed to the paper layout.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I have my paper sheet here. I'm not sure. I brought my iPad and I might look it up on there, but I don't know. It feels weird.
Yeah.
It's Erica.
Erica!
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And
How
see
you
you.
feeling?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I have throat spray, I have Ricola, I have tea, I have water, and I have Halls.
Tony. You and Tony.
It is no fun, but my throat, at least I can talk now. When I woke up, it hurts so bad I couldn't even speak. So,
Progress.
yes, it's moving in the right direction.
All right. So we're just waiting for Steve and Dan.
Dan said he'd be a little late, I see.
Yes.
Yeah.
And who knows when Steve will show up. If he's using the right email address. I always feel like there's
I didn't get an
trouble with
email, but I feel like that is not uncommon with Google Hangouts.
I got a call, like my phone a half hour ago started chiming on the kitchen counter, and I was like,
Oh, no.
I don't know how to ignore this, so I'm just going to let it keep chiming.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't
No, it's
understand how it works.
I don't get it either.
Look at Steve.
It's Stephen Lutz.
That guy.
Oh, he's just ignoring us. He's very stoic.
That's Steve.
That's yes.
Typical Steve.
Yeah. Man, a few words.
Mm-hmm. Quipless.
There they are.
Oh,
Hello,
hello,
Stephen.
Steve.
What's up, dudes? And dudettes.
Am I a dudette?
No, probably not. I mean, I don't know. What depends how you self-identify.
Yeah. I can be whatever I want, Tony.
Dudism is fluid around here.
Ooh.
So you're willing to be you're absolutely welcome to be a dudette if you'd like.
Carlos.
I don't judge
Say hello.
much.
You judge a little.
I judge all the time and a lot.
Oh,
Hello, Justin.
Aw.
I like the mic picked that up perfectly.
Did
That
it?
was awesome.
That was like a Foley kiss.
Fully
That's good
our
Foley.
Yeah. Good job. Aw.
Sweet.
Remember that when I ask you to bring me stuff later.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Well, I spent the morning shoveling, so it'll be nice to go to an imaginary desert planet.
We'll be shoveling in a completely different way right now.
As long as it's not snow. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, what were you shoveling?
snow, Jason.
Well,
No.
okay.
I've shoveled worse
I mean-
things.
Sorry, Jason. I meant your grave.
Oh.
So
Wow.
I meant to tell you about a prophecy about 2 weeks ago. So
It's a little late now.
well, I mean technically not completely late, but yeah, it is certainly late, yes.
So what are we doing here? We watching a movie and talking about it, or
That's what we do.
That's right.
How do we do it?
I think we're playing the Wait for Dan game.
That's right. Dan is the worst.
we were going to some or other tower with birds flying around it?
Ooh, I touched my character sheet and a roll appeared. That's crazy.
Yes.
Fun, huh?
Oh, do you
I
have
am
a little
looking at our
iPad?
notes
I
from
really
last
need to
time.
do that at some point.
I
I
did
don't think
that,
we-
and then
we
I
didn't-
immediately discarded it because it was a pain in the butt.
We did not
Yeah, it
take
does
a lot
seem
of notes
like
last
so
time.
much.
I have to unlock my iPad every time I want to roll the dice. No thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have these cheap free dice I got with my starter set, and they're just fine.
I mean,
Oh yeah,
they're-
I gotta
they're
sift out
probably
my
chess
Presta
dice,
dice
Yeah.
right? So
from the pile.
Yeah.
I left my meal planning dice in the other room. Shucks.
Oh, no. How will we know what we eat?
yeah.
The Presta dice look a little bit deserty. The the dice for my other character are shiny and sparkly. I can't even think of her
wow.
name right now 'cause I'm so sick.
The other one.
You know, the little one.
And
Like-
the rest.
I don't know.
I used my one portion of my pound of dice for this game.
Yes.
Pound of dice, please.
Pound of dice, yes.
Pound of dice is relatively cheap considering how many dice you get it, but you get a lot of ugly dice.
Yeah, given
do.
what
This
these
is
weigh,
so
it
true.
feels like that would be a lot of dice.
It's a lot of dice. It's
It
many
is.
sets of dice, but they're the ugly ones. They're the ones they use when they're literally cleaning out the machine, basically.
Mhm.
Some of them
Rejects.
are almost impossible to read as
Yeah,
well.
some of them have legibility issues.
They're nice for putting in like the bottoms of fish tanks and things.
Oh wow, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I
I
have
need
a
fish tank.
lucky bamboo plant that I had planted instead of in rocks in dice.
Wow.
Oh.
Yep.
Does that make them luckier or unluckier?
Probably unluckier because now they have like film all over them.
Not the dice, the bamboo.
Oh, the bamboo. Well, eventually they died, but they lasted longer than
They
previous
died.
bamboo.
Ah! That's great.
Death comes for all things.
Mhm. Yeah, usually my lucky bamboo doesn't last that long, so maybe they were
Yeah.
luckier than whatever rocks I was using.
I don't know how lucky your lucky bamboo is, Erica.
It's not even actually bamboo, to tell you the truth.
Oh, it's
I mean,
they
It's
all
a
got
lily.
there.
lucky bamboo, not bamboo.
Yeah,
Yep.
Erica,
I've
that's
never-
just a stick. Sorry, Erica.
You made her die. Good job,
I'm
Tony.
trying
Oh,
not to
no.
kill her when she has, breathing issues. So.
Lucky
It's
Erica.
all right. I'll have my breathe easy tea in a minute, and then everything will be fine.
I've never heard of
Dan-
Lucky Bamboo.
Dan said if everybody else is on time and you need to start without me, I could jump in. So maybe we should.
Oh,
I don't know.
All right, we can start
And,
without
and what's our end time, Tony?
I asked for
Uh,
7 o'clock, which is 3 hours and 50 minutes from now.
All right, yeah.
Yep, I'm
Yeah,
up
we
for
should
that
probably
too
get started
because
then.
I have a thing.
Oh,
Angels sans Eglath.
I
What's
should
the-
probably be.
It's always sounds like
Does Dan have a really good excuse? Is he stuck in some kind of snow or sand drift?
I don't think he has an
Sandrift.
excuse.
All right, everybody should start recording.
All right.
Recording.
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 Also recording.
Great mic test. Sniffling and
Oh.
clearing my throat.
Recording.
Test.
Sibilance.
Test. All right. What are we doing?
D&D.
We're watching a bad movie and talking about it.
Oh, great.
I think so.
50 Shades Darker.
That's right.
I just listened to the episode.
I was just listening to that too. I realize now why YouTube sensation CGP Grey may not. I shouldn't say that live. It turns out that 50 Shades of Grey, I think, drove CGP Grey to use a pseudonym because Grey is in his name, and it's like, yeah, let's not do that. So.
Fantastic. So let's start. Jason, do you want to do?
Great story, bro.
Yeah, well, I realize we're on the live stream, and so I have to now omit details because he has stalkers. Let me make a screen recording. Oh, come on, QuickTime Player. What are you doing?
Why don't we have stalkers? What kind of a rinky-dink outfit are we running here?
Well, at the Flophouse Live,
it's not as much fun as it sounds.
I'm okay
Lauren will attest that at the Flophouse Live yesterday, 3 different people walked up to me and said, "Are you Jason? I love the incomparable." So
Oh,
we do. Maybe
those are called
we do.
Those are not stalkers. It's when they show up at your house, Jason. That's very true.
All right.
Has anybody sent you like a bag of teeth at your doorstep or anything?
Or they say,
there was like,
"Hi, Jason. I really like your new
There's
sheets."
the towel.
there was that guy who sent me the
They're very
Zeppelin,
comfortable.
and the guy who sent me the towel.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's not good.
What's the thread count on those? They feel really nice against my bare skin.
Yeah.
okay.
Jason, just a random fan question. What size is your face?
All right, new screen recording. Stop making me laugh. I can't record the screen when you make me laugh. All right, and start recording. Okay, I am now recording. Great. Ricola. Eric has a lot of Ricola.
Product placement.
Ooh. This podcast brought to you by the smooth taste of Ricola.
See, where I grew up, they called it Rip Hop. That was confusing.
Or if you prefer, we also have
Oh.
halls
Welcome to the halls of medicine.
or generic throat spray. See, I got it all.
This episode of Total Party Kill brought to you by Generic Throat Spray.
That's right.
Get it in Canada.
Not available in Canada.
Guys, I should have confessed I've taken some cough medicine. So,
Excellent.
All right.
Wednesday night.
What?
That's good cough medicine.
Yeah.
It transported you 4 days into the future.
All right,
Or
Scott,
3 days
I
in the
think
past.
I think we should just continue on.
All right, no
and-
introduction. So,
No.
when
So
last...
I'm Ketchka. I am a female 3-cream bard.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Hello, Kachka.
Hi.
Let
Let me do the voice. I haven't done the voice in a long time.
Excellent. So you, when last we met, you were all standing upon a hill next to some recently excavated graves that you excavated that contained some occupants. They had,
Who was living down there?
they were dead corpses. You found
no.
a
Dead
half
corpses.
corpse,
Better
a
than undead
female
corpses.
human warrior, a human warrior in a black cloak with strange stony armor that you recognized from your encounter many, many moons ago, and one male human in a white robe with black feathers at the shoulders.
Now remind me,
You
were
also-
some of these the envoys that we were looking for, or did we determine that?
You did not determine that.
No.
I
I would like to determine whether these are the envoys we're looking for.
well, one of them's a halfling, and halflings are unusual.
Right. But
So
there
you
were a
can-
couple of humans in that party, as I recall.
Yes.
All right.
And you also, I think if everyone's in roll 20, you see currently, I mentioned to you that you could see a spire in the distance, and this is what the spire in the distance looks like, with large vultures flying around it.
Looks like a
And
spire.
you-
The name of this spire.
Yes, and you're here because you went to, well, you got kicked out of Cled, you went to Freedom, you met a helpful NPC whose name I could not think of, and he brought you to these graves, and you said, "What's the deal with that tower?" And he said, "Oh, that's the Feathergale Spire. That's where the Feathergale Society hangs out."
It's pretty inspiring.
Did he have any explanation for what the Feathergale Society is?
I don't think any of you asked that.
What were we on last time we played?
It was the end
I
of the
think it was
session.
just yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, 4.5
The
hours
hour.
of D&D. That's what we
Yeah.
were on.
I had been in the same room as Scott for like a day. So So
And it was a
you're
pleasure.
I mean, you're great. I was I was overwhelmed at that point.
Ah, yes. There's
With the
a limit.
awesomeness?
Yeah, just when you're around
Okay.
Scott, you're either overwhelmed or underwhelmed. You're never whelmed. It's always
Yeah.
it's the highs and the lows.
That's
with
right.
that.
I've had that experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, she's been underwhelmed by me.
At a Greek
so
restaurant.
Yes, that was a good meal.
It
You turned to the local Kank herd who brought you here and say, "What's the deal with the Feathergale Society?" And he says to you, "They're just like this group of rich kind of debutantes that think that they're protecting the area, and they mostly fly around on giant vultures,
Sweet.
looking for trouble, thinking they're." And to solve said trouble, but they usually cause more problems than they do. But they're generally harmless.
Debutantes.
Debutantes.
I know.
Well, friends, that possibly seems worthy of investigation. I mean, you know, we're only going to be out in the waste for so long, and how many opportunities are we going to have to go to Feathergale Spire? But remind me, what the heck are we doing, and why would we go to Feathergale Spire?
Remember, you are looking for the Halfling Trade Delegation. And also you have heard you were sent here by Mashatra, who is the basically the Minister of Defense for Tyr. She recruited you to find out two things: where this delegation went, and to investigate there's been some strange reports of unusual elemental magic in the wastes.
So, like,
and we're supposed to retrieve the delegation's papers, and I think Aline's character actually would recognize some of the people, maybe not the halflings. But
right.
Yes.
Yeah, there was one human amongst the group that we were looking for. That was Desana Norval.
Yeah. There was
Do
Rudolph.
we have any idea
Hustler.
what she or he looks like?
Yes, and you
would
would
maybe be able to identify whether one of these corpses we're standing next to is this person.
No, you don't know. You are certain that it is not. You also, last time we pretty much ended with discovering the graves and digging them up. You haven't searched around. I don't know if you want to search around or
So
not.
I would like to see if there are any papers in amongst the halfling corpses.
You did check all the bodies. There is nothing on the bodies.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna search around. So
Search around.
Perception.
Search around. Search up, and search down.
Is this like desert territory here, or
It is.
It is. Okay. In that case, that is 16, 17, 19.
Oh, it's in desert territory. So you spend about, I don't know, a good 40 minutes looking around, and you find a confused collection of tracks, a few broken arrows, a discarded javelin, and a tattered gray cloak.
All right. I would like to look more closely at the tracks and do a survival check just to see what I can get out of that. Oh, that I rolled a 20, which becomes a...
You don't know anything. No, just kidding.
29.
29. With a 29, you can tell that it looks like these people were in some sort of battle. It appears that the group with the halfling, because you could tell halfling feet from other feet, was kind of approaching this hill, and they seem to have been ambushed by someone, but you're unsure. Other than the halfling, all the other boot prints kind of look the same.
Can we determine that they're all boot prints as opposed to there's no, say, like giant vulture tracks?
Well,
like,
you would also know that giant vultures tend to attack from the air and don't land and walk.
They never land. Is that what you're telling me?
They would, if they were attacking something, they wouldn't probably land.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna roll my nature check because I haven't rolled anything yet.
Do I get any idea?
Studies for 10 with a roll of 10 if there are any of these boots were worn by vultures.
No.
I'm wondering if I can get an idea of how many entities total just took part in this battle.
It is hard to tell because the tracks are so jumbled, but certainly probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 20.
Okay.
Carlos would like to look at the tattered gray cloak more closely.
It is a tattered gray cloak that does not have any kind of just stand out
No,
features.
There's no dressmaker's mark on it. to tell
Ketchka
you.
will do a quick Arcana check on the tattered gray cloak, and that's a 14.
It is a tattered gray cloak
I
with
wear
no
I
arcane.
wear the cloak. I wear it. I put it on.
All right, Carlos, write on your character sheet, tattered gray cloak.
Got it.
Maybe
don't
you
seem
can
like
wear
a
it to the
cloak man for some
you can wear it
reason.
to the Ramshackle Tavern if we ever make it back to Cled.
I feel like this. Go for it, Elaine.
I was just going to ask, do I recognize any of the clothing or any of the people? Is this someone that I have encountered while, working for
What's her face?
shaking down people in tier?
No, you don't.
Okay.
So, all right, let me kind of ask some questions out loud, not necessarily to our dungeon master, but to the group. I feel like this halfling body seems like a pretty big clue that we have not totally figured out the meaning of yet, right? And I'm
It's
little
a dead halfling. That's the
It's
meaning.
a dead halfling. I mean, we have these 2 missions. There's weirdness with elemental stuff, and it seemed like we picked up on some of that happening in Cled. There's probably more of it happening elsewhere in the wastelands. And then, where did this group of envoys disappear? And do you think we can conclude that they never made it to Cled?
It sure sounds that way to me.
Okay.
There's no evidence in Cled of them reaching there. They seem to have something bad seems to have happened. I think we found this out between Freedom and Cled, which is sort of where we are now, somewhere in here.
We know they got in a fight with the caravan that was led
And we're
by that
just
orc,
outside Freedom, basically.
half-orc.
And the one thing that we did find in Cled were the halfling, disc token things. So either one of some of the party made it to Cled and left those there, or whomever attacked them took those from them and took them to Cled. So there's definitely a Cled connection.
Yeah.
You also bought a halfling book on genealogy.
Yes, which may have been.
We spent about an hour doing that. That was
Can
awesome.
I look this dead halfling up in that book? Do
Good
you
times.
have
Yeah.
an ID?
The book, amazingly, is called The Cled Connection. So
Cool.
I'm just wondering,
by Dan Brown.
Sam Brown.
Does the can we
Sam
judge
Brown.
how long these corpses have been dead for? Does that line up with when the whole group of people went missing?
Someone could give me a medicine or health or survival check.
I can do medicine.
Okay.
Let's see.
A 9 survival, you don't know.
24.
I have no idea.
Oh, with a 24, you do know that it seems to line up with when you knew the caravan was moving about. So
And
it's a couple
Scott-
weeks ago.
The caravan was like a big group of people, right? Like there's kind of 5 specific people that we're looking for who might potentially, some of them might still be alive even, but like there could be lots of people who are part of that caravan who would be murdered and buried in the desert. And right, I mean, it's not like the caravan is just the people that with names that you gave us before. They have an entourage.
They do have an entourage, and you would imagine they have some form of conveyance as well.
Yeah. And there's not, just checking, there's not a wagon buried under these people, right?
Well, I guess you could dig more, but you are pretty sure that there's no wagon under there.
All right.
Well, these Feathergale people fly around on their birds. There's a chance they may have seen any sort of a situation.
It seems like they could.
Some halfling folk, and also the spire is a thing we can see that we haven't killed anybody in yet.
Yeah,
so maybe we should head that way.
It seems like we're within sight of them. They could be a very useful source of information on what happened. Now, they could have been involved in whatever bad things happened to these people we're looking for.
In which case, we can slaughter them all and win.
Okay. I'm just
it will join the list of places where we've killed people.
That's right.
Also, maybe Carlos, maybe you could stay in the spire forever. So I don't know.
I don't know. Are there doors that I can open there?
Oh, I bet it's riddled with doors.
Man, that would be great.
I don't know. Who wants a spire? Who does a desert spire fit into their backstory? Anyone? Anyone been had their parents killed by?
I don't understand what you're saying. Backstory. I just live my life.
Was anybody's parents killed by vultures, large size or regular sized?
Carlos exists in the now. There is no past for Carlos.
No,
Okay.
Regdar's family.
By
the way,
backstory.
Who is
Spire
Carlos' door buddy today? Keeping an eye on him, making sure he doesn't open any stray doors.
Oh, I've got my eye on him.
All right,
I'm watching.
All right,
Chara's on door
Chara's
buddy
on
duty.
Carlos.
Yeah.
All right. I'll keep my eye on Amla, but he's being very quiet so far. So
I'm
Yeah.
gonna hide behind my tattered gray cloak, and
Not
you're
a bad
gonna
thing.
notice.
Yeah, we can see you in that cloak, Carlos.
Nope, it's a cloak of invisibility. I've decided.
No, it's not.
It's got like
It's
this
just a
giant.
tattered gray cloak.
All right, team. Should we proceed to the spire? And
let's do it.
I mean, do we?
Yeah.
All right, let me just check. Do we present ourselves honestly? Do we come up with a cover story now, or do we come up with a cover story on the
Okay,
moment?
Look,
just
I
know
don't
it's
know
coming
you
up
well. I do not know you
beforehand.
well, but I have not heard any truth come from anybody's mouth the entire time I've been with you.
My name is
I'm just
Rekdar. I'm
saying.
just a guy. I'm your
Rekdar,
Well,
are you suggesting we get our stories straight in advance? That
There
you
is
go.
amazing.
I'm thinking our stories could be slightly more in alignment. I'm not saying they have to be straight, but like a little less crooked is what I'm
All
looking
right. How about this? We are spire inspectors.
Okay. Because let me tell you, if we walk up there and we're like, oh, yeah, we're vulture salesmen, and they're going to be like, we have plenty of vultures. And then what do? Then we pivot and we're like, oh, yeah, we were vulture salesmen. Now we're vulture food
no,
salesmen.
from the Fear Spire
carrion
department.
salesmen. We're carrying salespeople. Come on.
We're selling these fine leather jackets.
You know, that's the thing about carrion, though. Like, you don't sell carrion, you just find it. Like, that's
I
the
do.
difference.
Are you carrying?
He's
Carrying?
carrying.
Carlos, when was the last time you sold carrion?
Okay, you got me there.
Yeah,
It was
see?
back in my gladiator days.
Way to stand up under the most basic of questioning.
I'm
if
a
this had
gladiator, okay? Don't have me talk.
I guess I'm just
don't have me
saying,
talk.
if this had happened in the spire, do you know how many doors they have to throw us out of that spire? It looks like it's basically all doors.
All right,
and they
I'll
get
tell you what, right there. I will stand in the back next time. Now that may mean you are run through by a sword, but I won't say anything to embarrass you. So you choose
I
where
feel
you
like
want
this
me.
is a great deal for everybody involved.
Yeah, let's go to the spire.
Yes.
okay.
All right.
Are you all going to the spire?
Yeah, I think
so.
Have we
Let's just stick
ravaged these
together.
graves enough? Is there anything left of these graves that we haven't?
Do we have
Maybe
to,
we
guys?
should bury these people.
Do we? Yeah. Should we?
Yeah.
Did we tip the guy that showed us these graves? How does that work? What's the
I
etiquette
think he
here?
wandered off.
He did wander off. Once you started
Okay.
bickering about your story, he was like, I've got to go.
That
All
sounds
right, yeah,
about right.
I say we rebury them. It's they were shallow graves to start with. It's not like it's going to take that much work.
All right. Yeah, Carlos, you're good at reburying.
I knew this was going to come back to me. Yeah, all right. That's why I'm here.
All right,
We'll have
Carlos.
Amwal help.
Carlos and Amwal rebury the bodies, and then Carlos wipes his brow with the edge of his tattered gray cloak.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, a
Leaves
shovel
a
is
smudge.
a shovel is basically like a weird sword when you think about it.
That's true.
Yeah, I defeated it. Hey, everybody, I defeated the graves. Another
Good job.
victory for Carlos.
Good job, Carlos. We knew you could do it.
Hero. Yep.
All right, Feathergale Spire rises from a pillar of rock high into the air, the tallest point for miles. Built from white limestone and embellished in marble, the spire resembles a gleaming sword that pierces the sky. And everyone should see a picture of the spire in Roll20. The gatehouse.
I do not.
Oh no.
You might need to scroll around.
My.
I zoomed way out.
Or are you in the right campaign?
I think
Yeah, what
so.
do you
Like
see?
I've seen the Carlos
I
stuff,
see.
and I got
Yeah, I
the
see, sure.
link from Rector.
What spire doesn't resemble a sword piercing the sky? Just curious.
It's don't ask me.
I don't
that.
know.
I
What
didn't-
spire?
It's kind of a basic quality of spires. World.
Well, but it sounds better than the spire resembles a typical spire.
Steve, your Victorian conundrums could use some work.
All right.
The gatehouse.
How is a spire like a writing desk?
The gatehouse faces the opposite cliff. Its drawbridge, the only apparent point of entry. Tall, wide windows encompass the bottom level of the tower, absent only upon the gatehouse side. A circle of open stalls rings the tower's foundation where it meets the rock. Above each stall, a sculpture of a hippogriff in flight leaps from the tower's base. Beneath Feathergale Spire to the east, a wide, gusty canyon yawns through the hills. So you see, basically, the spire, as you approach, you notice that the spire is on this kind of outcropping of rock, and there is a 20-foot gap from the cliff that you are on to the spire. The drawbridge is currently up.
Did we come the wrong way, or are we on the side of the drawbridge?
You are on the side of the drawbridge facing the spire.
All right,
That's
that's good.
And there is the entrance. Oh, no, that's not right.
Although it's
Gap
only
of-
20 feet. I mean, we have rope.
That's true. Let me just read this, and then you can do whatever you want. A gap of
It
20.
is a very deep chasm.
Yes, a gap of 20 feet separates the ledge where the path ends from the closed drawbridge on the Feathergale Spire. The space between the cliff's edge and the gatehouse drops several hundred feet to the bottom of the canyon. Near the ledge, a brass bell hangs from a wooden post.
Somebody shoot the bell.
That's
So you've seen this. You've seen this from far off view because you all have eagle eyes. So you can discern that. You can decide if you want to walk up this way. You could also theoretically walk all the way down, go down into the canyon, and come from behind if you want. So there you go.
And is the air full of vultures with riders who are no doubt aware of our presence?
You see two vultures, giant vultures that have one rider on each that are circling the tower, and they have almost certainly seen you.
I think we
wave.
should just approach openly and ring the bell. Why not? We're just gonna ask some questions.
Let's hide among
Almost-
the dunes, shoot the bell with an arrow, and see who comes out, and then we'll laugh.
Umlal says, "Me no like these giant vultures. Me think they looking for giants to eat."
Oh, Umlal.
2 lines of code. So,
Yeah, let's
friends, shall we head down this little bridge to our doom?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? I guess we walk down the little platform and
You know, before we do, I'd like to do a quick perception check to see if there's
Oh.
anybody like ensconced around the entrance that might be hidden, waiting
I'm
to
just-
shoot people that approach.
You know what? I never bother to do this. I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
Carlos
Ooh,
just keeps
interesting concept.
walking, and he's
Maybe.
moving toward the bell now.
Regular guy.
Okay.
I got a 3
I'm-
perception, so if there is anybody, I don't see them.
I'm watching Carlos.
You are certain that there's no one hidden at the base of the tower, Ketchka. Carlos inches towards the bell. Regdar is surrounded by glowing force fields. It looks, however.
I think it's more
however,
subtle than that, but whatever.
All right. Regdar is surrounded by something, some arcane force.
I feel like here in Athos, to be surrounded by glowing force might be a bit of a
Well,
tell.
you know.
Carlos
seems
offers
bad.
Regdar his tattered cloak to cover his mage armor.
and so I do. Good thing we stole that corpse, that cloak from a corpse.
No, it was
you-
just
you
in the
found
dirt. It was in the dirt.
Yeah.
Sand.
Who do you think it belongs to, Carlos?
I don't know. It could be anybody.
Carlos, this is shoddy logic here.
I'm just keeping my
Also,
eyes out for
I ring the bell.
traps and people coming at us and that sort of thing.
You ring the bell, and a little door opens, and a woman's
We're here to
head
see the wizard.
pops
I
out.
love
I didn't
when
see
the
that.
doors open.
That's a kank of a different color.
And she says, "Greetings. How can we be of service?"
Remember when we said we were getting a story straight?
Regdar, it's all you.
Regdar.
Hello, we are travelers. We seek parley with your people.
Works.
Well,
oh
fantastic.
boy, who made him? Who put him in charge?
We are
Well-
here to share tales of the outside land and perhaps in exchange for sustenance.
Oh, well,
We're also
you
looking for some friends, Regdar.
you came on the right day. Lower the drawbridge, and they lower the drawbridge.
Oh wow,
I'm gonna-
friendly people. That's weird.
Regdar looks at everybody else condescendingly. See,
There
So
any
smug.
other way Regdar looks? And the
There's-
drawbridge is down.
what could go wrong?
There's nothing worse than a smug regular guy.
Hmm.
I roll a 15 on condescension.
Very nice.
All right,
Uh,
let's guys, let's do it. Remember, just we're travelers. That's not a lie. We travel all the time, and we're looking for some people.
And you see the woman. Now you can see her completely, and she looks. I just want to explain what she's wearing. What are you wearing?
But these
I
people
hope-
believe that they're do-gooders, so there's no particular reason why we can't just tell them what we're up to.
Yeah, nobody
Well,
good
no,
is
because we're not supposed to.
bad.
But we can tell them that we're looking for people. We just can't say why.
Yeah, well,
That's true. She's wearing.
as long as we couch it in, some niceties
Looking for
about how
some-
we know
some
that
old
they're
friends.
on the side of good, and so are we. Then we should-
She's wearing.
It's Shara's old pals we're looking for.
Are we? Yeah, I mean, are we allowed? I mean, how much do we have to conceal? I totally forget. Regdar may also forget how secret our mission is. Like, could we just say that we're like security operatives for the caravans?
I don't. I believe that the Mashakra wanted you to be kind of low key, undercover. She doesn't want it to get out because she doesn't want the other sorcerer kings possibly to grab it. Because this is Tyr has recently been freed, and they want this trade relations is very important. And if any of the other sorcerer kings found out, they would use this as leverage.
Now, we've also been sent on sort of a submission from Freedom, and nobody told us to be particularly low-key about that. So we can inquire after the halflings without revealing anything about our other
And
mission.
since Shara actually recognizes and knows some of the people, it's perfectly, normal to say we're looking for some people. They don't need to know what kind of a mission those folks were on. We can just Shara wouldn't even necessarily know.
Sure. Yeah. I just think that might be the next thing they immediately ask, but I don't. Whatever. It'll be okay.
We don't have to know that. We just have to know they're coming this way.
Yeah, we've never gotten into trouble for asking questions.
Well, that I remember. Friends, enter.
All right. Are we entering the spire?
Thank you.
All right, you are entering the front hall. The entrance is a 30-foot-long hall of white stone. At the opposite end of the hall are two 12-foot-tall doors, like those of the entry gate. An eagle carved from a massive timber hangs from the far side of the ceiling, suspended on strong chains. Slender wings of steel swoop close to its sides. Its head is also fashioned of steel. You see that in the hall there is this woman who is wearing scale armor, and she's also wearing a white cloak with black feathers on the shoulders. And there are also two people who are wearing cloaks and hoods that are standing in the corners of the room, looking like they're just kind of guarding the area. And the woman says, I'm Savra. What is your name? To Regdar.
Oh, I am Regdar. Recently of Tyr. How are you?
Oh, Tyr, you're far from home, Regdar. I'm sure you have many tales of adventure to share with the society, the Feathergale Society.
As you can see from our appearance, we travel all over. Tell me, how long have you been here at the Feathergale Society?
Well, it is ironic that you would ask on this of all days, because today...
It's Rex Manning Day, everybody.
Today is the 10th anniversary of the Feathergale Society and our occupation of the Feathergale Spire. And in fact, we are having a big celebration tonight that I'm sure you are more than welcome to join us and sup as you should after such a long and clearly harrowing journey as she looks at you and sees
How
that
are
you
you set for hootenannies for your celebration?
Yeah, I was going to say, we are... You ready to turn this celebration up a notch? Because we brought a 3-green.
Well, I'm not sure if we have food that would be of the Thrycreed's taste, but certainly all are welcome.
You don't have any elves in the tower here?
I very sharply elbow.
Oh, I see. You brought your own food.
Really, it's the bard part of my backstory and not so much the 3-green part that we're trying to push forward here. But okay.
Friend, do you have time to talk, or should we talk later at the celebration?
I will. I think that I should take you to see someone whose name I need to look up.
Your leader?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but did not we find one of the people in these shallow graves with a white cloak with black feathers?
You did indeed.
All right, so we have that part of information in our back pocket in case we
do.
Yes.
Gain their trust.
Yes, I will take
or lose it.
Assuming they didn't ice this guy themselves and dump him in the desert.
I'm sure you have many questions. I want to take you to see Thrall Mersaka, who is the leader of the Feathergale Society, and he will answer any questions that you may have.
That would be lovely. Thank you so much for your hospitality. This is quite a spire you have here. It's really inspiring.
I aspire to have a place like this someday.
Yes. It's like a sword that pierces the sky.
Yeah,
as many spires are.
Also, those vultures you got, they look real impressive.
Intense.
Yes, we breed them ourselves and train from a very young age to ride them.
I hope you train them not to eat 3-green.
And she, well, certainly we don't eat 3-green. Neither do our vultures. And she turns to the cloaked gentleman and says, "Initiates, open the door!" And they scurry and open the door and reveal a spiral staircase, in which she says, "Follow me." we will go up to the pinnacle to talk with Thrall. And she walks into the spiral staircase and starts walking up, beckoning you to follow her.
All right. I give everybody the universally recognized hand signal that we've all been practicing for many an adventure, which is everybody continue to roll perception checks and let's get a quality threat assessment of the Feathergale Society in terms of how many people they got going on, how many birds, how big this place is, if we have to murder every last person, like how many hours is that going to take? So team, go.
Yeah.
What does that hand signal look like, Tony?
I don't know, but Alvin just gives him a high five instead.
Who's got good insight and can keep an eye on or an ear on whoever we talk to here as to whether they're on the up and up?
My insight's not bad. It's +6.
Oh, that's decent.
So,
all right.
So I will tell you, I will just explain what the central staircase looks like. It's a spiral staircase that runs through the tower center. It has landings on each floor. The stairs have a handrail along the outer edge. It does, you notice if you're looking in this room, it goes down as well as up. It's fancy that way. And in this room, you will coming from the west side, so you're going east, and on the east door of this room, in the middle of the room, of course, is the staircase. On the east wall, you find a closed door, and on the north and south wall, each wall features another closed door.
Do we have time to kind of chat with our friend here, or is this we're headed right to the?
Well, she's going up the stairs. I don't know if you're following her up or not.
Yeah, we're following.
And I get a 14 on insight just to sort of judge, like, overall, does she seem shifty, or does she seem pretty, like, genuinely like, oh, cool, travelers, come to our party?
She seems quite excited that you are here on such a day, and she hopes that she seems genuine in her excitement.
This is weird, guys. I'm not sure how to deal with this situation. People aren't usually nice to us.
And you go up one level, and you see two kind of a double door. And
Yay, we're level 6 now. What are our powers?
That's canon. That's canon.
You then go down 2 levels to the
Apparently the stairs go both ways, so
these double doors are open to what seems like a great hall, and you see two more of
it's all right.
These Feathergale knights who are wearing, much like the woman Savra, scale armor and cloaks, and they seem to be busy setting up a large table as you pass by. And as you're going up, Savra, if you want to ask her anything, she's chatting with you,
pointing out like architectural features and
telling you about the many exploits,
all the preparations they're doing.
Yes, everybody's quite excited. This is, we don't normally pause for celebration. We are so busy with our mission.
What is the mission of the Feathergale Society?
Well, we have to keep the area clear of any monsters or threats to.
Oh, very noble.
Around. Yes.
Do you have one vulture, or do you just take whatever vulture is available to you when you have to work?
Do you mean if we have assigned vultures?
Yeah.
We grow bonds with all of the vultures equally, so that in case there's...
Okay. Do the vultures have names?
No, they do not.
I see, Scott. Sure they don't. Somebody
how do you
they do have names.
How do you think about them then?
But
They
if
seem
you were
numbered.
to name the vultures, what would you name them?
That's a fascinating question that I've never given any thought to, and I will continue to give no thought to it.
Sometimes
I like that.
Sometimes I'm looking out for the Underdungeon Master, and sometimes there's other times. So,
and as you pass the Great Hall, she says, "This is where we'll be having our celebration." And off we have one more level to go. We go up to the 3rd level, and you see off of this landing, it's a circular landing. So you see 2 doors, kind of, and you can extrapolate that there are probably 2 more doors here.
Okay.
They are all closed, though. And
can you give us a sense how many? Is this place like bustling with activity? Are there dozens of initiates that we're seeing running around, or does it seem like kind of skeleton?
So far, you've seen 5 people total. The 2 cloaked, or I guess really robed initiates in the entry hall. Then you saw a bunch of closed doors. You went up another level. You saw the Great Hall, where there are 2 knights that are setting up things. And then you went up another level, and she says, "Oh, this is living quarters on this level. All the doors are closed." And now you are going to go up one more level to the pinnacle, which is at the apex of the tower. And the stairs terminate at a round stone gazebo that continues upward in a needle-like minaret. Beyond this enclosure, a small lawn grows upon the top of the tower. 4 paths paved with white stones point the directions of the compass, each path ending in a pointed stone crenellation. At the pinnacle's edge is a spyglass on a tripod pointed downward. From this vantage point, the Feathergale Knights possess a supreme view of all that transpires in the nearby canyon.
Nice view.
Hills beyond. You see here there are 2 more Feathergale Knights, but they are currently circling the tower, riding giant vultures. And you see a man in his that looks to be human. He is well built, in his early 50s. He is wearing an embossed plate in his armor that's embossed with feather patterns, and he has a kingly cloak that boasts a feathered mantle. He smooths his white blonde hair into place, and then bows very low before you, as if he were only a lowly courtier. And he says, "Welcome to Feathergale Spire, retreat of the Feathergale Society. I am Thurl Morasuk, the Lord Commander. Savra, I see, has brought you to meet with me. Welcome, travelers. You come on an auspicious day, the very 10th anniversary of our society that I founded, to help keep the valley free and to help travelers such as yourselves make sure that you do not starve and die a horrible death in the desert. Welcome."
Regdar attempts to bow even lower. Is that an acrobatics check?
Sure.
And he waves at everybody else to bow at least a little bit.
Scott, are we within easy sight from up here of those shallow graves we were at previously?
Well, you could. So you think that you came from the west? You are in the middle of this kind of flat top of the spire. So you are about 15 feet from the edge that you could look over. As you glance over, you try to orient yourself, and you can't quite. You see it's kind of shielded by a dune, so you can't see the hill clearly, but certainly you could probably you would gather if there was some kind of battle that you would probably see or hear it, because
and now, Scott, we're now many hundreds of feet up because we already started several hundred feet up, and then we climbed. But you don't have I mean, if we were to fall off this, you how many D10 do you actually have on your desk there?
If you were to fall off this, you would just die.
I'm just trying to gauge whether there's a chance that they already know what went down out in the desert.
All right.
Are there people stationed at these spyglasses constantly, or is it just they're just there?
There's one spyglass on a tripod at where is it? I've shared the page, so I don't actually know where it is. It is where is it? At the pinnacle's edge is a spyglass pointed downward. So in the northern pinnacle, actually I would say eastern. So to your right from the gazebo. You're currently standing in the gazebo, looking at him. He is on the grass, pondering.
Sir, truly, you show us too much honor. We are but simpler travelers who are just beyond fortunate to stumble upon your hallowed halls on this day of all days. But we were hoping that perhaps, in addition to observing and celebrating this great anniversary, we also come and seek of information, and perhaps we could be willing to pay our way with stories and tales of our many adventurers.
I do enjoy a fine story well told. You, of course, I hope Savra has already invited you to our grand feast that will be happening.
She was very kind, and we would be honored to join you for such a festivities. We bring with us perhaps the greatest three-creen bard in all of the lands.
I was unaware that
I am, but
bards.
Yes, I am Regdar. Allow me to introduce Kachka.
I bow.
He bows to you.
In as much as I can bow, given my weird insect biology.
It is a strange bow, but he appreciates the effort.
My other friends here. This is Omlal and Carlos.
Hi.
Hello.
And Presta and Shara.
I sort of incline my head a little bit.
Same.
When Amlal tries to bow, he's still much taller than them. Like
Yeah.
he can't. He keeps trying to gauge. Like, can I bow lower?
Well, you of course will stay the night at the spire. We will give you quarters, and I'm sure you must be thirsty and tired. If you would like to retire before the feast, please feel free.
We were just taking in the view here. It's quite impressive, an architectural feat you have here.
Yes, thank you.
And it seems like you must be quite busy keeping these lands safe and under control.
The desert is a dangerous place. I probably don't have to tell you that, but yes, we try to help where we can.
Now tell me, what have things been like recently?
Oh, his face darkens, and he says, "Great evil lurks amongst these hills. I'm sure that you will be aware. Depraved cultists, led by wretched monsters, spewing forth elemental magic. But let us speak of such matters after the feast has warmed our blood. I do not want to spoil your appetite with such tales, so we will hold on such."
Sounds like a good idea. We could just get a little liquored up.
We would appreciate
give
it.
each other meaningful glances at this point. I'm just saying, like, you're playing it cool, but also not playing it cool.
Yeah. I mean, we very well. We would be very eager to learn. We do travel all throughout these lands, and to know of danger before you face it is of an important survival skill. And you don't travel the wastes as long as some of my friends have here without knowing how important it is to chat with the locals that you can trust before you do battle.
Trust
you can't.
is key, my friend Regdar. I know you can't trust many people in the waste, but I feel as though we have a bond. I feel already. I've only known you but a short time, but I can tell by the way you bear yourself and your companions and their courtly manners that you are of a class much like myself.
Oh my God!
I can lend my instrument to your celebrations this evening.
Please do.
More than willing and happy to.
Yes.
But I don't want you to feel as though you must sing for your supper, dear Thrycree. No, you are an honored guest. You do not owe us any payment. No.
Think nothing
food is
of
your
it.
food.
He would be honored.
It is as payment for me, in fact, to be allowed to play at such
to perform in such a great hall. That would
ceremony.
He strum a mean piccolo.
He would be sad not to.
I've never seen anyone strum a piccolo. I am both intrigued and excited by such possibilities.
I can just tell you're good people. It's like my mom always used to say. In Athos, some people are vultures, and some people are not vultures. And I feel like until today, I never really knew what she meant, but now it's all clicking.
Those vultures over there.
Has a mom. It's good to know.
Vultures.
Everyone has a mom. Kachka, don't you have a mom or like a brood mother?
It's weird for Three Cream.
Okay, like a hive mind. Let's not get into this in front of company.
Vultures. Well, I know many things about vultures. I am sure your mother must have been a keen vulture connoisseur if she has such slogans that she regaled you with in your youth. I've never heard the phrase, but I assume that the vultures are the good thing and the non-vultures are the bad thing.
Yes, that is my understanding. I think it's a common tier saying. Well,
you learn something new every day, Regdar.
Indeed.
I feel as though I have already been enriched by your presence. Thank you. Many thanks.
Well, we will not. I'm sure you have many preparations to do in the preparing for your festivities. I'm sure we'll see you later. But perhaps we should leave you to your work and not be underfoot. Thank you so much for your time and hospitality.
You are, of course, feel free to make use of our lovely garden here at the top of the spire, but Savra can also show you to quarters if you would like to rest.
That would be lovely.
Savra, make it so. And he turns his back to you.
I play a quick power chord and then bow again.
He jumps a little because he was not expecting such a thing, and he says, "Well, thank you for the preview of tonight's entertainment. It was quite exhilarating.
Yes.
I look forward to hearing."
There's more where that came from. Just you wait.
I can hardly wait. I will be counting the minutes until I can hear your full performance in the Great Hall. And Savra says, well, maybe we should go. He can go on quite a while.
Really?
Lead the way, Savra. And I mean, just this place is very nice and very civilized. If you could just point out, any areas that are off limits that we should stay away from, that would be very helpful to us. We wouldn't want to do anything that would
don't give them an out.
Impose on customs.
Well, I mean, I suppose you should stay out.
See, this is how you know where to go.
You should probably stay out of the Lord Commander's apartment, which I will show you where it is. And she
What
goes
is his
down
taste
to.
in pants, just out of curiosity? Does he favor purple?
You should
What's the
show
door
us.
made out of?
Yeah, you should show us where he keeps his keys, so we're just especially
limit.
sure not to look.
Don't
Guys,
accidentally get those keys.
Guys, I had a great line. You're ruining it.
Well,
Level. And oh dear. And she says, "This is the third level where we have our sleeping quarters." And she points to a door and says, "That is the Lord Commander's apartment." You make note of the door that is made of wood and banded with leather. You also notice, most relevant perhaps to a band of adventurers such as yourselves, that the door seem to have no locks.
Excellent. That's the way we like our doors.
that is
Very,
relevant.
very trusting.
Like the way we like our canals with no locks. Thanks, Aline.
Third floor, Lord Commander's apartment, and menswear.
All right, should we continue down the spire? Is that where Shara's
This
leading
is-
us? Or not, sorry, not Shara. Shara's in our group. Savra.
Savra points to, she opens the door and you see a chamber with 2 beds, a fireplace, a closet, 2 chests, and a small tapestry on the wall. She says, "This is actually my quarters, but I won't be using it, so feel free to lay down here. If you would like any food, I can either get it for you, or you can go to the kitchen, which is on the ground level, which is where you came in. I would suggest not going further down below ground level. There's only 1 level below that. That's the stable. The giant vultures don't like strangers. So for your own safety, I would suggest staying
Scott,
away from there.
do they actually call it a stable? They don't call it like an aviary or anything?
They call it a stable.
And
A
it's
staviary.
bottom, not the top. Interesting.
Well, the top has
Uh-oh.
Scott keeps clipping out for me.
He just joined this video call. No, there's 2 of them. There's 2 Scots!
Oh no, double DMs. That
Say
never
it
goes
so.
Can
Ah.
you hear me?
Great.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we're admiring.
But not your
double Scott.
doppelganger on the right.
Well,
there.
Yeah.
he's
very still.
he's very quiet and very angry. And there you go. And she says, you know that, well, now you know this. So the ground floor is where you came in. Their kitchen is on the ground floor. You've learned that. She tells you which door it is. So it is the northern wall has a door, and beyond that is the kitchen. The second level is where the Great Hall is. You don't know if there's anything else on that level. I'm sure you could ask her if you like. The third level is Knight's quarters and the Lord Commander's apartment. And there you go. So she says, "Would you like to rest, or would you like me to bring you some food? What would you like?"
I will. You know, it might be nice to rest for a little bit, but thank you.
Of course.
We'll be around. How long do we have until the celebration?
The celebration will start in 2 hours.
And just out of curiosity, so that my friend can tune his instrument accordingly, what size group are you expecting?
We are expecting all of the knights to come.
There are different tunings based on the number of people to whom I'm playing.
It's
Well,
true.
I am unfamiliar with such things, but there will be.
That is why
I believe-
I'm a bard and you are not.
very true. Truer words have never.
Hey,
Look,
remember when
Regdar doesn't just
Regdar
walk
told
into
us
a
not
spire
to
and be
lie?
like, "Tell us how many people you got. Where do you keep your money?" Fly casual.
This is a very unusual for your party to be doing things in a reasonable manner.
He just doesn't know what to do with this.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm flying real close to the sun here, people.
It is quite unusual. So yes, she says, well, there are about, depending on how many missions are being run, currently 4 knights are off on a mission, so we'll probably, unless they come back, there'll be maybe 10 to 12 knights tonight.
All right. Does a quick count of 10 to 12. Does a quick count of how many people are in the party, how many knights they could each kill. Doesn't do that out loud.
Okay.
Thank you
Glad
for
you
all your
noted that.
hospitality.
Savra, before you go, Thrall
Yes.
spoke of some bad goings on in the desert near here. Are you aware of
Oh, yes.
any of these goings on that have been happening?
Well, of course, I mean, the alluvial waste is, there's always bad things happening, which is why the society was founded, to help
Yes.
But it sounds as though
control the
things have been
skies.
badder than the usual badness level of the things in the area.
Yes. Freedom. Better
there
than
has-
bad.
there have been some increased activities elemental magic seems to be rearing its ugly head.
Oh dear.
But I probably shouldn't talk about such things. I should leave you to Thrall to explain. It's not my place to talk about.
Well, as you mentioned,
anyone wanna
Thrall does
ask
tend to
about
go
missing
on a
caravans?
bit. We thought perhaps there would be a bit more economy if we discussed it with you, but that's fine. We understand. You probably have preparations to make and so forth.
Yes, I'm. Things must be ready. And it is my job to stand in the entry hall and make sure that all is secure. So I will leave you to your rest. Please make use of the beds if you like, and I will see you. I will come back in 2 hours to fetch you for the party.
All right. You might try looking on some of the other floors if you don't find us here.
All right. Well, like I said, don't go into the stables. For
Oh,
your
of course
own
not.
safety. And the kitchen's on the first floor, and I will be on the first floor. So if you want to say hello while you're down there, I'll be in the entry hall where you came in. Well, have a rest, and we have a solarium if you would like to go see some lush green that you don't normally see on Athos. It's quite interesting. That is on the first floor as well.
All right.
And she bows and closes the door, and you are now in the knight's quarters.
I check behind the tapestry.
There is a wall behind the tapestry.
Suspicious.
Why does she have 2 beds in her quarters?
Maybe she shares it with somebody.
She did say her quarters, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
there's not.
Yeah, we should definitely ignore the logical excuse and come up with maybe she's 2 people.
Yeah, but at night she splits into 2 people. Oh, well, also, Kachka, where do you think her favorite vulture sleeps in the other bed?
Oh, that's a good point. Is there a pile of scat next to the second bed?
You know how you can tell? It's a feather bed.
Hey, Regdar, maybe we should find out if all these knights have roommates, because that could change the tuning.
Mm-hmm. Hey, did she buy it? Yes, that's all that matters. Carlos, don't critique the plan.
Tuning.
Yes.
You lecture us
That's
about
how
lies,
hard
and then you come up with the worst lie of all.
At the foot of each bed there is a chest. And there are two chests.
I'll check them
Are
out.
they locked?
Okay.
They are not.
Amlal approaches one cautiously and then whispers, "Are you mimic?"
The chest remains.
And Kachka says very quietly, "Yes, I'm a mimic."
Amlal looks back and says, "Inconclusive." I'll poke the chest. See if anything happens.
The chest moves a little bit.
Is it? Rah!
Kachka casts minor illusion to make it appear as though
Yes, minor
the
illusion.
chest has teeth and a tongue.
The spell that's only used for griefing party members.
Well, yes.
As soon as the chest opens, a tongue shoots out.
Amlal hides behind the tapestry.
All right, you see some boots behind the tapestry.
Also, almost pretty big, and I assume it's just a normal sized tapestry.
Yes. You also see his head over the tapestry.
Yes, you don't see his torso, but
All right, he comes.
I mean, guys, there's probably not anything super exciting in here, and
It
Was
doesn't
there
hurt to
anything-
look around, but I really
was
want to
there
go look at
anything
the solarium.
Yeah, the solarium sounds cool.
so just let's check in here. Game plan: we'll attend this feast. See if we can get more information from the head guy after the feast. Is that the plan?
And during the feast, I mean, it wouldn't hurt to also ask if they have had any other guests recently.
Yeah.
Because it's possible that caravan or another one stopped along their way as well, since these people seem to be, friendly. At
No,
least on the surface.
I'm not picking up anything nefarious from these people. Is anyone else? It's slightly more insightful than
My original insight check was for Savra. I guess I'll roll another one for, which that's not great. That's only a 10.
Yeah.
For
Regdar rolled a
Roll.
17, but we don't have anything reason to believe that these people actually turn people into pies or anything, right?
I mean, so
Vulture
far
pie.
so good. They have
Yeah.
invited you to a feast. You don't think
And-
that they're going to
Are
eat you?
we the feast?
And they
though?
mentioned the elemental magic, which means
Yeah.
that either they're telling the truth and they're actually allies and can help us with what's
Sure.
going on here, or they're liars and this they've been playing the long game for 10 years. One of those.
I'm suspicious because nobody on Athos is nice.
Yeah,
That's
especially out in the wasteland. That's
that's
a ticket to Dead Town.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. That seems.
Also,
Kachka doesn't care. She's just excited at the possibility of getting to strut her stuff for these people.
I also,
I-
you don't build a spire out of donations. That's all I'm saying.
I can't remember if I rolled last time to see if I knew anything about the Feathergale group in all my travels.
I think you did, and
Okay.
nobody knew anything, and
Right.
everyone was quite upset that the NPC knew things that you didn't.
Well, I mean, you did say they've only been around here 10 years. Maybe it's been more than 10 years since I came past this way or something.
That is true. And you also know now all of your characters have the history with Athos that it is full of ruins and other kind of strange structures. So you could assume that perhaps they built the spire or that they just kind of moved into a pre-built spire.
Yeah, based on like the construction and looking around, do we think that this is 10 years old, or does this have the look of something that's been much older and restored?
This looks like a much older structure. And all of the rooms, I should mention, feature very large windows that have shutters that can be closed. They're currently open, so it's very bright and a little windy in the quarters that you're in.
Now that we have been close and I have actually seen this spire, do I know anything about this spire? I mean, previous to 10 years ago, would I have heard any tales that remind me of this building?
No, so the desert, the alluvial wastes especially, but all of Athos is just kind of full of constantly uncovered and recovered ruins. So having a tower like this is unusual in that the top of the floor obviously has a lush green lawn, which is strange, and they seem to apparently have a room full of plants, which is also strange.
There's a giant spire with people who fly around and giant vultures, and like nobody's heard of these guys.
You haven't.
The locals.
Yeah, the local guy knew all about it. We were the idiots in this situation.
Well, I mean, local, sure. I guess that's...
When you say nobody had heard of it, you mean we hadn't heard of it.
Yeah, I mean us. None of us.
Almost is outraged.
Nobody in the party has heard of the Feathergale Society or the Feathergale Spire.
Is it safe to assume that with the amount of plant life going on, that there's some kind of spooky magic going on in Athos? Is that like just a given?
It is unusual.
Okay.
You would know. It doesn't necessarily have to be spooky magic. It could be just. So elemental magic in general is more
spooky.
Kind of is more accepted in Athos than arcane, because elemental magic does not require sucking the life force out of people. It generally does the opposite. So you could imagine that either they have access to a large body of underground water, perhaps, or something, or they're using some sort of magic to sustain it.
Well, maybe when we check out the solarium, we can sort of see if there are pipes.
One more question, just to avoid perhaps uncomfortable dinner topic conversations. Did we see any iconography of any of the sorcerer kings that we should guys? Don't talk bad about any sorcerer kings at dinner until we know which side these guys might be on.
Or was there like a giant House Sham mural or something like that?
No, so you're in a room that has features of tapestry. So you look at the tapestry, and it is showing hippogriffs in flight, being ridden by a knight that looks very much like a Feathergale knight, and it seems as though they are flying off into heroic battle.
So they're into their own thing. They're not.
Seems like these people have mostly crawled up their own backsides and are not particularly.
Before we do anything else, I want to remind everybody that we do have this little figurine of the griffin, which can fly. It could not fly all of us at once, but if it turns out we need to make an escape from this place, there are big windows, and we could have the griffin ferry us out of the tower. And
also, that's just a great story. If we get to do a fight at dinner and fly a griffin out the window and away from the magic spire.
I mean, admittedly, we probably also have to.
Let's just fast forward to that.
So. We also know that certain other members of our party may or may not be able to cast Featherfall. So
that is true.
We have that in our back pocket.
Because we would, regardless of whether we do that or the griffin, we'd still probably have to fight off vultures in the process, unless we were sneaking out in the middle of the night. So just wanted to remind everybody of the tools we have at our disposal.
Yes. We also have some weapons and things that we can murder them with. So.
Featherfall lasts for 1 minute.
It's not murder if they're attacking us back.
Featherfall lasts 1 minute, so we have to do some math to figure out whether that saves you from falling from the side or not.
Can you cast it again?
I don't think so.
Couldn't you just wait until we had fallen almost to the ground and then cast Featherfall?
Yeah, it's like when you're in an elevator that's falling, you just jump right before it hits the bottom.
Yeah.
You could do that. You'd need to make a concentration check, but
yeah.
And if you fail the concentration check, bad things could happen.
We all die.
So I would say like fishing around in the commander's room is probably not a great idea at this point, since these guys seem to
Also-
be on the up and up. So maybe we should just cruise around, check out the solarium for
Let's
the next
check out.
couple
I mean,
hours.
I figured somebody was going to volunteer to sneak off and do sneaky stuff, and it was just a question of whether we discussed that or if that person goes rogue. So
I think we should. I do think that in the interest of learning everything we can, we should peek through the chests that are here. Like not rifle through, but at least look in them.
All right, so we're not looting; we're peeking.
Right.
Yeah. Somebody
Like,
go
don't
hold
make it
the door.
obvious that
Someone
we
roll
have seen it.
a peeking check, please.
All right, I'm going to go hold the door shut just in case somebody comes and opens it at the.
Yes, and I should at this point say that while the doors that you've seen don't have any locks, you can easily bar them if you want. They all open inward, so you can bar them from the inside.
Would that be like a stealth check to be able to look at stuff and leave it exactly as it had been before?
That's a good question. Why don't you try? I would just say that
Or sleight of hand?
investigate.
Oh, I got good investigation. I'll check one of them.
I'll watch the door. Kachka, you investigate.
All right, I will investigate. So chest number 1.
Chest number 1.
And I'm listening at the door too to see if I can hear anybody.
That is a 26.
Well, it's certainly a chest, and it looks as though it is just kind of your run-of-the-mill footlocker. It contains some clothes.
It contains
Sells
feet.
a lot of
Oh my
sneakers.
god!
Sells a lot of sneakers.
It has. Let me see. Where are we? Here we are.
So many feet.
And it has a bunch of seemingly trinkets that are valuable. There's gold and gems, and you would guess that it's the contents total worth are 77 gold pieces.
It's good to know.
But there is nothing. Nothing looks out of place. If you were thinking, what would I find in a chest in a knight's room? You would find such things here. Nothing's like crazy.
All right, I'll check the other one.
All right.
And that is a 27.
Excellent. Well, this chest contains valuables worth 78 gold pieces.
This one's better.
I like that.
And the only difference
This
here,
is the Dark Sun version of the Showcase Showdown.
there are different sets of clothing. The chest number 1 seemed to have women's clothing. This seems to have men's clothing. It also has a white cloak with feathers on its shoulders.
I see.
That's
Somewhere
my
there's a
favorite.
naked-
My favorite cream song in a
Somewhere
white
there's
coat,
a
the
naked
white cloak
male
with
knight in this
black
fire.
feathers.
Have we seen
Or-
other people wearing that same
A
cloak
decloaked.
here?
So yeah,
Sovereign was wearing one.
both of the knights that were riding the vultures had them.
Okay.
Savra was wearing one, and Thrall was wearing a much more majestic
I
version.
just wanted to make sure that this was like basically the same style as that.
And also
Yes.
one of the dead dudes out in the desert was wearing one.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay.
So that's in the chests.
All right.
Maybe we should have scooped that up while we were out there.
Yep, you just took a tattered gray cloak.
Yeah.
It's-
Well, that one wasn't technically grave robbing because it was just lying around. So
That's true.
Technicalities. That's
That's
the space we
right.
operate in.
It's not in the grave. It's not grave robbing.
it's
Just
robbing.
desert robbing now.
yeah, that's salvage, man. Salvage.
All right, nothing good in these chests.
Let's head to the solarium. Maybe stop in the kitchen for a quick bite to eat.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are
Amal
all
really wants to get one of himself those vulture legs just to gnaw on.
Yeah, no, don't. Let's Ixnay on the ultra vey egg leg.
So you
Egg laugh.
are.
Egg
Is
lay.
everybody going to the?
How dare you speak of my brother that way?
Everybody going to the first floor?
Solarium, yeah.
Sure.
Are you all going to the same places, basically? What I'm
Yes.
asking? Okay. So you make your way down. You go down to the second level. The doors are still open. You see that the table has been set a little bit more. There's still
I will not go to the second level with you.
there's still 2 knights in there busy.
Reference acknowledged.
Acknowledged, yeah. Mhm.
Such things. Then you go down to the ground level, and so Savra told you that the kitchen was on the north wall. She's told you there was a solarium, but she didn't tell you which door to go into.
We need to check them all. man.
Yep.
The east and a door to the south, and there are also the double doors to the west that you came in through, so you know where they go.
I'm going to peek my head out the double doors and wave at Savra and say, "Hey, we're checking out the solarium."
Oh, she turns to you and says, "Ah, yes, it's just directly across from these doors on the east wall."
That's the way I was going to say we should go. So
Let's check the door on the north wall.
The door on the north wall is the door to the kitchen, as you recall. So if you
right.
want to open it, you can open it if you like.
No, I'm heading to the solarium.
All
You
right.
guys can go to the kitchen if you want.
Press to
I'm going to
open.
pop into the kitchen just to say hello and make sure they aren't like cooking up halfling or something.
Okay, well, you peek into the kitchen, and in the kitchen you see sacks are heaped along the walls, and a small pile of vegetables is spread on a table.
Oh my God, they're eating sacks.
A huge steaming cauldron stands in the center. 2 wooden paddles and 2 knives hang on a rack next to a brick oven. 4 wall shelves hold a dozen loaves of bread. And you see around this large steaming cauldron 4 men who are wearing those hooded robes, much like the 2 men in the entryway that the Savra called initiates. And they are standing around the cauldron and seeming to inhale the steam that is wafting from it. And they seem very focused on this, and they do not notice that you've opened the door.
Wow.
That's weird.
Does that seem like, do I smell anything that smells like something's cooking or?
It smells like they're cooking some kind of stew.
Okay, so this is straight up stew.
Ooh, stew.
Yeah, we have a lot of experience with stew.
no.
I forgot about that.
I think we have an advantage in all stew related.
Should have said soup, Scott.
I should have said soup, but it's too late.
Do they have a catapult?
Could have been a nice bisque.
Chowder of
Yeah.
some variety.
But Ketcha, you notice that since you are so stew experienced, you would expect that they would be perhaps.
That is the worst Jimi Hendrix album.
They would be perhaps
Okay, that was actually
good, or doing something to it. But their arms are at their sides, and they are all kind of just seriously focused on trying to inhale this steam.
Steam, delicious.
Are you telling anybody else about this, or you're just peeking while we're
And
heading?
are you gonna? Yeah. Do you want to do anything? Because you pretty much you've glanced at it, you noticed this. Now you have to tell me if you're going to do something. Ketchka.
I'm just going to quietly close the door on it.
All right, you close the door. I don't know if you want to tell other people about this or not, but I assume as you were doing this, Presta is going to open the door to the solarium.
I will let them know that there's stew in the offing.
All right.
Regdar would like to check the other
Oh
door.
no.
Oh, okay. And so while Presta is opening the solarium, Regdar goes to the south and opens that door. But I will, by order of operation, solarium before unknown door. A bright room occupies the east quarter of this floor. Flowers and shrubs of many varieties grow in a labyrinth of planters. Spidery, red, and purple plants grow suspended in baskets in midair. Robed humans, 4 of them, water the plants.
They're wearing these initiates robes, or these?
3 of them are wearing initiate robes, and 1 is wearing a slightly different robe.
Well, I will go in and talk to them, but so I don't know if you want me to start doing that before you reveal what Regdar sees.
Regdar, let's say that you're going to walk in there, and I will explain what Regdar sees. Regdar opens the door, and he sees a room that is full of bunk beds. There are 4 double bunk beds in here.
Okay. The room is unoccupied?
The room is currently unoccupied.
I will close the door and head back to join the group.
All right. And so
I just like to take a moment to appreciate all of this foliage that we've run across, because we don't get the opportunity very often to hang out in
is
greenery.
a very lush environment here in Feathergale Spire.
This is the most shrubbery I've seen in one place in quite some time.
It is quite impressive. And so Presta has walked
Is
into
there something
the
I can
solarium.
pollinate? I feel an urge to pollinate something.
Don't pollinate. We're a guest here. Gotcha.
That's right. Pollinate on your own time, Ketchka.
Your own plants on your own time.
And so as you walk in, you also notice that there are several barrels of water located throughout the perimeter of the room, and you see the 4 humans in here are doing a variety of somewhat. One of them is like pruning a shrub, the other is watering.
What's the market value of a barrel of water in Athos these days?
It is a lot. This room.
We should definitely try to roll one of these across the desert. That sounds like a good plan.
Nothing bad ever happened to anyone rolling a barrel across a desert.
This room is shocking to you.
Jump in the barrel and see if you drown.
No,
This
that
room,
happened once.
This room is shocking in A, the amount of water that's just casually being used, and B, the lushness of the vegetation. Some of you, when you went to see
I look forward to Carlos leaving someone in this room to die.
when you went to the palace in Tur, you went through the gardens there, and this seems like a much smaller version, but still richly appointed of that. There's that's not to mean that there's a relationship between the two, but it is a similar setting.
But the Feathergale Society is doing pretty good.
Yes. Do any of these people seem like they might be more in charge, like dressed a little differently, or ordering the others around?
3 initiates are there, and you see they aren't talking to each other. They seem to be kind of studiously doing their work, and the one who looks different seems to be supervising. And so he looks up and he says, hello, how can we help you?
Hi, my name is Presto. What's yours?
That is a wonderful question. That you would think that the lord of this game would remember that you should have names before you introduce NPCs, but no, he is capricious and idiotic. My name is
Jim
Bemoral.
Bemoral?
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Bemoral. I am absolutely flabbergasted at the beauty that is going on here. It's a passion of mine, actually, to seek out all of the beautiful and lush green places in Athos, which I am absolutely telling the truth about. That's part of my backstory. So,
well, welcome. Please, if you would like to meditate amongst the greenery, I find that personally to be quite refreshing. So we could even give you the room if you require absolute silence for your reverie.
That's very kind. I will keep that offer in mind. I'm curious, how did you guys get this started? Was this somebody's particular passion? When has it been going since you started, or was this here when you folks moved in? I believe Thurl said it was 10 years ago or so.
Yeah. Well, today, oddly enough, is the 10th anniversary of the Feathergale Society.
I hear it's very exciting.
Such a momentous occasion. And will you be staying for the celebration later?
We will. We are looking forward to it very much.
Well, I do not know if I will be able to attend, since my duties require me to tend to the solarium, but I hope to pop in. And to answer your question, so I was not here 10 years ago. I joined maybe 5 years ago, but from legend tells that Thrall was riding his giant vulture across the alluvial waste and came upon this spire in very much the condition you see now. And these plants, we have added to these plants as time has gone on. But this solarium was set up, and these barrels are fed from some kind of underground spring that we can't find, but we certainly make use of the bounty. And the very stone of this tower seems to encourage plant growth. So that's quite exciting.
That's amazing. Do you grow some of your own food here then? Or is that all simply for the beauty of it?
This is all for the beauty, so that we could become closer with nature as we continue down the path of enlightenment.
Mm-hmm. So Thurl was a vulture rider before he founded the order. Then.
Yes, he is a famed vulture rider in these parts. Of course, I must say that there aren't that many vulture riders, so it's not super hard to be a famed vulture rider, but still quite an accomplishment.
All right. Do we, as a party, is that like a common thing anywhere in Athos that we are familiar with, or
it is not a common thing for people to be riding giant vultures. You've all seen giant vultures before, but generally they are not mounts.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'd say thank you. I'd like to. I think I'm going to look around. This is really amazing.
Please do it. If you have any questions, you can ask me. You could ask one of the initiates, but they are currently practicing contemplative silence, so they will not respond.
I won't disturb.
Carlos asks, you said that it was legend that he was flying around, but he's here. Did you just ask him?
Did I ask Thrall where he came upon this fire?
Is this just a legend, or has Thrall told you the story of him arriving?
Well, he has told the story. It's been embellished over the 5 years that I've heard it, so one imagines who can tell.
Part story, part legend. I understand. That's how legends are made. Thank you.
That's right.
And I would like to just investigate. I'm going to roll investigation just to look around and see if I can find anything interesting. Like I said, I do actually have background with a few desert plants, and that's a crappy roll. Let's see, investigate. Would this be considered something that's related to the desert, or since it's so lush, is it not related to the desert?
This is not desert terrain.
Okay, then that would be a 7.
You are overwhelmed by the amount of greenery and lush setting here, and you don't know where to look first. You're just completely overwhelmed, so you can't really.
I ask Bemoral, you mentioned that some of this stuff was here before. Do you have any thoughts about any idea who was here before you came, before the Feathergale Knights and Thrall came?
I don't know. I mean, much of the history of Athos, as you know, is lost to the sands of time. I give little thought to such things. I am more focused on the present so that I can improve myself down the path of enlightenment.
I will maybe whisper to Regdar, since I know he knows a little bit about magic, even if he doesn't want to admit it, to maybe take a look around and just, I'm curious about the building itself, that if it encourages greenery, is there something going on?
Regdar studies the building. He rolls a 13, which is abysmal for Regdar on Arcana, just to see if there's any kind of obvious magical properties of the building or this plant life.
No, the plant life looks completely non-magical.
Okay, that's good.
The building is ancient as you look at it closely, a little closer than you have before, just looking at kind of the architecture and seeing how some of the stones have been joined. You haven't seen, like, buildings like this haven't been built in Athos for thousands of years. And so Regdar would know that many of the buildings have some kind of innate either through the thousands of years of kind of wild spells going across and ravaging the planet.
And there's all kinds of, like, basically every other house in Dark Sun. It's like a wizard used to live here, and that wizard set this house up to X. Yeah,
exactly. So it could be one of those things you can't really tell.
Now, Scott, remind Regdar, there's all the lush palace gardens in Tyr.
Yes.
Are those naturally occurring, or are those just a sign of opulent wealth, or are those a thing that gets hooked into the use of defiling magic?
They are a sign of opulent wealth, and you know that the Sorcerer King used it as a ready supply of life force. So
but the plants themselves are not magical. They're just a bank of life force, ready to go when he needs to defile.
When you have unlimited slave power, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
All right. I would like to use my primeval awareness.
Ooh,
and
I don't know what that is, but I'm excited.
It's a ranger thing.
She's aware of the TV show Primeval.
I am. And
I'm not aware of that TV show, so clearly I'm not a ranger.
So for 1 minute per level of the spell slot I extend, and I'm just going to use one of my first level spell slots, I can sense whether certain types of creatures are present within 1 mile of me, or within up to 6 miles if you're in your favored terrain. I don't know if being in a building in a desert counts.
No.
That's her favorite terrain.
So anyway, aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Is there any of those within a mile? Specifically, I'm kind of like interested in the building itself, but.
All right. What does it do? What are you casting?
So like it doesn't tell me how many or exactly where they are, but I can tell if there are any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, or undead within a mile.
A mile. All right, let me look at this map.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't say anything about being able to like shrink that radius, because I really only want to know about the building, but that's just the way that it's written.
You get a mile.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's
but like if anything comes through super strong, then I will have some suspicions, but
okay, so let's see. Celestials, no, that's not a celestial. Elemental, are these people elementals? Well, I feel like you did this before, or somebody did something very similar to
I did this and got a headache basically because there was so much elemental activity going on.
Yes, so you still sense a huge amount of elemental, kind of chaotic elemental activity going on. This, I will say that you are well versed enough to know that it seems when you did it before, you kind of just got a lot of background chaotic elemental stuff. This time, it seems there's still a lot of background chaos elemental stuff, but the underwriting kind of strongest note of elemental magic that you can feel is air elemental. But you can't pinpoint any kind of like elemental creatures, and there are no fae or aberrations within a mile.
Is she picking me up?
Yes, I forgot that you are an elemental. So there is an elemental standing right next to you. But other than that,
Is she capable of locating where that air elemental is coming from? Is that coming directly from the tower, or is it just somewhere within the
it just
a
seems
mile?
all encompassing within the mile radius.
All right. Lots of air elementals around here.
Not necessarily air elementals themselves, but
Just air
magic
elemental
related
magic.
to the elemental plane of air.
Right.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
It's a great story.
I'll tell it again later.
That's a pretty good story.
No, I'm not telling it ever again. So you are in the solarium. The people there are now ignoring you. Well, the three initiates were ignoring you anyway. They continue about their business. The other guy says, "Feel free to stay as long as you like, but I need to tend to the garden."
What do you use for fertilizer?
Well, we do have a basement full of vultures.
Interesting point.
You use the vultures for fertile?
No.
He means poop.
That's right. It always means poop.
Is there so how did apologies if I've forgotten this already. How does the light get in? Presumably is there like open air?
There are
Is there a
giant windows here, particularly. So you were in the knight's quarters, and there are large windows. These are double the size, and there are 3 of them. They are open. They still have they have shutters that can be closed, but they are wide open at the moment.
Are they glass or they're just like open windows?
They are just openings.
All right. Kachka says, I need to tune my instrument before the celebration this evening, so I'm going to slip off to our quarters and do that. And then I head up to the captain's quarters door, the commander's.
Lord Commander, are you going by yourself?
Nope.
Yes.
I'm going with Katsuki.
What? No, wait.
All right, fine.
No.
All right. Well, Ketchika's doing that. What does everybody else want to do? Ketchika says, "I'm going to go back to the quarters and."
I want to go down to the stables. I'm curious about these vultures.
I want to just meditate in the solarium. I don't need them to leave the room for me, but I will just meditate.
They point to a particularly nice spot that he says, Memorial says, "I find this to be quite inspiring, but feel free to sit wherever you like."
I will sit in that spot.
Excellent. So we know Umlal's going downstairs, Ketchka's going upstairs. That leaves 3 other people to go in 3 different directions.
Excellent.
That's only so many directions you can go in Aspire.
That is true. Does anybody else want to go anywhere, or you just want to kind of hang out? Or
I'll just hang out. So far, none of
If
us got
anybody
into
wants
trouble.
to be the point man for investigations into the commander's room, that's fine.
well, I think
I'm
everybody
going to
else
hold
agreed
back
not to go in there.
I'm going to start.
I was not planning on doing a lot of investigating. I just wanted to peek in there.
I'm just going to figure out my lies to get us out.
All right, Carlos and Shara. Shara.
I'm keeping an eye on Carlos. So whatever Carlos. does,
So
I'm-
Carlos, what are you doing?
I am going to. Oh, Carlos is really well. Carlos is going to follow Umlal and see if he can have a peek at this.
Because when those two get together, nothing bad can happen.
All
I
right,
am
well-
muttering obscenities under my breath because I know that nothing good can happen.
Well, the 3 of you go downstairs. Keshka's going upstairs. Keshka has 2 floors to go through, so we will do the 1 floor down as the stables. So we will go there first.
Well, were there interesting doors on the second floor up? Because
well, the second floor is
That's the Great
whatever.
Hall.
It has
Housewares
a landing with
and
double
no-
doors that are open to the Great Hall.
Right.
That's all you've seen of it, so you don't know if there's anything else there.
Got it. All right.
But first, we will go to the stables. A circular landing surrounds the central shaft of a spiral staircase. The landing is piled with supplies and bales of straw. Radiating from the landing are 12 stalls with straw-covered floors. A harness, riding crop, and saddle hang in each stall. Swinging wooden doors cap either end of each stall, one leading from the tower to the stall, and the other from the stall to the open air. and you see in the stalls there are 6 giant vultures, and standing in one of the stalls attending to a vulture is a Feathergale knight with his back to you.
I'll walk up to the knight and say, "Hello."
Hello. Who are you?
We are visitors here, staying for celebration, but wanted to see
yes,
the vultures.
The 10th anniversary of the Feathergale Society. You came on quite an auspicious day.
So people keep saying. It little weird.
Well, we don't get many visitors.
Yep, can see that.
Especially not on such an auspicious day.
I'll checks with Shar and Carlos to make sure it's not just him. This is actually super weird.
I mean, they're keeping him down here with the guano and the vultures, so it may be that he's not their PR, their hype man, right?
He's probably high on the fumes.
Can you blame him?
So
how can I help you?
What you do with Bird?
Can we take a ride?
You should be we are. I wouldn't recommend. Does any of you have experience?
I'm rolling animal handling.
Giant vultures.
I got a 7.
Well, I mean, I guess you can.
I got a 9.
We are going to have a great story to tell about how you guys lost your hands.
The One Arm Club.
No arm done.
Umlal, you reach
High
out.
five! Oh,
You reach out. Umlal and Carlos, you both reach out to touch
Neither
the
of you uses
vulture's
two-handed
beak,
weapons, right?
and he gets in front of you and says, "No, you don't want to touch the vulture. Unless you don't value your fingers, I would suggest not."
Oh, I do.
startling
I
this
like them.
vulture."
They're fine.
Can't strum a piccolo without him.
And he pats the side of the giant vulture. She's a little touchy about who gets their hands
Touches
near her.
So while they're talking, I'm gonna roll perception to see if there are any like hidden trap doors or anything that might look like
In this particular stall?
just kind of throughout the stable.
Okay, so you're gonna. So it's remember that this is a spire, obviously, so it's round. Every floor is round. So you'd have to walk away from Umlal and Carlos to check out all the stalls.
Yeah.
And leave them unattended.
I'm gonna give them the like I'm watching you, stay out of trouble look, and I rolled a 15 to kind of look around.
It's going to take you. It's pretty big. There are 12 stalls down here, so it'll take you a little while to pop in and look in. And as I said, there are 6 of them are occupied with giant vultures doing various things, sleeping, cleaning themselves, whatever giant vultures do while they're resting. I've never met a vulture, giant or regular size, so I don't know. Feel free, listeners, to write in and tell me what a giant vulture would be doing.
There's probably a lot of feathers everywhere. They shed like crazy.
Well, so there you go.
And there's probably a lot of like debris of various things they'd eat because they eat carrion. So there's probably bones and feathers all everywhere.
And the Feathergale Knight says to Carlos and Umlal, "Can I help you with anything?" As Shara's walking around.
Just like birds.
Oh, all right. Well, feel free to look around. Once again, do not touch any of the birds. They don't know you, so that would not be great. I don't want you to...
Almost definitely about to introduce himself to a bird.
And he says, well, if that's all I need to continue preparing this bird for its flight.
Where you fly?
Oh, where's it going?
One of the knights is going to relieve one of the patrols.
Do you fly them?
I do. I am not on flight shifts today, but I have gotten stable duty.
Have you seen anything weird on your
Emphasis on the duty?
Strange going on.
Just in general, I've seen plenty of strange things on my missions throughout the years. Shara, you continue to look.
Organs, maybe.
I'm just thinking. Recently, we had some. I met some of my friends who were coming from Freedom. I am a freed slave and know a lot of people in Freedom, and they went missing somewhere between Freedom and Kled. And I was wondering in the last what is it, the last week?
Unfamiliar story though. The road
Yes.
between Freedom and Kled is perilous.
Have you seen anything recently about in terms of a party being harassed, a caravan being attacked?
I have not seen any caravans as of late.
All right.
And
Ishara,
you do
Ishara's
not.
still investigating and can't see me.
Well, I'll say there's a 50-50 chance, so I roll 2d10. High is that she can see you, low is that she cannot. And she can. She is just kind of coming around the other corner, around the staircase, so she can see you.
I will very subtly take a step backward as if going toward the staircase, but then I will see her seeing me and I will not leave the room.
And Char, you do, as they are kind of doing this little small talk with this guy, you do a quick circuit of the stable. You peek into some of the unoccupied stalls as you're walking around, but you don't want to spend too much time because that might be suspicious to the Feathergown Knight down there. And you don't find anything unusual. You find, like I said, you find harnesses and saddles and things, riding equipment.
Just to clarify, these are vulture harnesses and saddles, right?
That is correct.
All right.
Or I should say they're not just necessarily vulture saddles. They are avian saddles and harnesses. They could probably be modified to fly any large flying beast.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't just walk into Thrall's pleasure dungeon.
Well, maybe you did. And so Yashara rejoins Carlos and Umlal, and now we will switch to Ketchka, who is climbing the staircase. Ketchka, you go up the second floor. The doors are still open to the Great Hall. Continue to be prepared for your feast, or the feast, I should say. You go up one more level, and you find yourself standing in front of the Lord Commander's apartment.
Okay, quick perception check to determine whether there's people in the area that might notice if I... Oh, that's not good. That's a 3.
You hear absolutely nothing. So
Interesting.
You are certain. You think you might be the only living person in miles.
All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold up one of my fists in like knocking position, and very, very gently press my knuckles against the door such that no one could possibly hear it as a knock.
But you are pushing it open.
I can. No. I'm just quote knocking. I want to be able to say.
Yes, Ketchka has hands, so she has knuckles.
Finger. It's really weird.
All right, so you have Ketchka. You've placed your fist on the door in a knocking motion, but not creating any sound.
Yes, I want to be able to say later that I did knock before entering.
Well, that gives us a philosophical question: that if a knock makes no sound, is it in fact a knock? Because it seems like,
for the purposes of this discussion, yes.
Okay.
Does anybody answer my silent knock?
No.
Okay, great. Well, in that case, I'm going to stealthily open that door real fast and peek inside.
Okay. You see a room that looks very much like the knight's quarters that you spent a few moments in, except there's only one bed in here, and there's a fireplace, a closet, a writing desk, which the other did not have.
Are you sure it's not a raven?
I am sure.
Okay.
Or a vulture?
It is none of those things. A small tapestry on the wall and a chest.
Interesting. Does the chest have a lock on it from where I can see?
Well, that seems like that would require more than a peek through the door to find out.
All right, but there's no nobody tied up in the room or.
The room is unoccupied.
Okay.
There are no saddles or harnesses that you can see.
All right, I'm going to quietly slip inside, close the door behind me, and just pop open that chest real fast.
Give me a stealth check.
That is a 24.
All right, so you get to the chest. It is unlocked because it doesn't have a lock. So you pop it open, and there are clothing and personal effects. There's also a sack and a couple of scrolls.
Okay, I will check out the sack.
In the sack, you see a potion and
Stop.
320 gold pieces.
Okay. Nothing particularly untowards there. Scrolls?
There are 2 scrolls. If you open them, you see that one is, I'm not sure if you can actually, you can read these, but I don't know if you can use them. I'd have to look that up. But one is a scroll of Beast Bond, and the other is a scroll...
See, I told you that was a pleasure dungeon.
And the
It's
other is
50 Shades of Tattered Gray Cloak.
The other
Avian
is a
saddles,
scroll... The other is a scroll of Skywrite.
Okay, pretty standard stuff
skywriting?
then. Yeah. It's a spell. Look it up. It's in Xanathar's.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
There are both of these spells are newish spells.
So that's awesome. He can fly through the sky and leave skywriting behind him.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's pretty
It's a great
badass.
business opportunity.
All right, I'm going to get out while the getting's good. I don't see anything here that gives me concerns.
Roll a perception check.
It's an 8.
All right, you can leave.
I'm leaving.
All right,
I missed
Close the door.
whatever it was there that I was about to perceive.
you did. Yeah, because there was something. There could be something else in there that you did not see, but you leave, and you are not interrupted.
Bummer.
So where are you going to go?
I'm just going to actually return to our quarters and do the tuning I claimed that I was going to do earlier.
All right, and meanwhile
Yeah.
in the stable.
Yes, tuning. Tuning.
Well, I guess I'll visit the solarium and see if Presta and Regdar are doing anything.
After I've finished meditating, I always get really hungry, so I am going to pop over to the kitchens as we were told where they were now.
Do you mind if I follow you to the kitchen?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, you enter the kitchen. I can read the description, but the most salient thing being, I don't know if Keshka told you that there was stew, a large.
He said there was stew
bubbling. He did not tell you that there were people surrounding it and seeming to just inhale
Wait,
steam.
I did tell them that.
I thought you told them there was stew. That was
No,
all you said.
I gave them the heads up on what was in the room.
All right.
Did you?
Well
Okay.
then,
Why would I
Uh,
not? Did I want to keep the fact that there were guys?
All you said was, I
cooking
tell
the
them
stew
there's
to
stew in
myself
the
for some
offing.
reason. It's a
you
secret.
did. Literally, all you said was there is stew in the office.
All right, fine.
Secret stew.
Let's say that I kept it to myself because I wanted to have my own little secret about
That
guys
ca-
sniffing
Or maybe
stew.
you were just going to wait to tell us later when
Yeah.
there weren't 3 acolytes
That,
standing around.
that
us. I
Katska
didn't
is so enigmatic.
I'm just saying. Well, so you do not know. You find
Mhm.
that standing around a large cauldron are 4 robed human men.
We should
their
find out.
Surprise!
Side, inhaling steam.
We should find out what they're cooking with, just because because Athos is a weird place.
They don't seem to notice you.
Okay, I will open the door and say, excuse me, hello.
Oh, they look up at you. They say, "Oh, hello. How can
Hello. Savra said that if we were hungry, we could perhaps get a bite to eat. I would love, I don't know, a piece of cheese or bread or something. I just had a lovely meditation session in the solarium. It was wonderful.
Right.
And now I'm a little hungry.
Don't want to know what cheese is made from on Dark Sun.
They say,
The answer is always Kank.
Tank milk.
That's right. They say, of course. And they, 2 of them rush over. One gets a loaf of bread from the rack. You see there are shelves full of loaves of bread. And the other goes to another section and gets out a large wheel of cheese. And they start preparing a cheese sandwich.
Can I
for
question
you.
the other 2 while those 2 are busy?
Yeah, as they're
Sure.
walking, I want to saunter over to the stew. And
I got a lot of stew questions.
The other 2
Go for it,
that are
Regard.
by the stew pick up some large spoons and start stirring the stew. And
Is
they
it a
So,
pottery-based cauldron they're standing around?
No, you would not. That doesn't make any sense.
You're not there, Kochka.
I'm Regdar. What's your name? Please let it be Stew. Let it be
I'm in
Stew.
the room and I'm thinking about the cauldron, okay? Because I saw it earlier.
My name is
Stuart.
Mel.
Okay. Mel, what are you making here?
Stew.
What's in the stew?
Well, there's some water as a base. We added many vegetables.
Fancy as a real cook.
and some various meats that we have found. Well, I say we. but
Found.
Feathergale Knights have retrieved and brought
You know,
back to the spire.
Guy, just, I mean, I'm not Alton Brown, but you don't just put found meat in a stew. That's
Yes, you do. Have you not
Actually,
ever been to the
that's-
desert?
That's
Tony's
found
stew
meat
works.
Tony's Dark Sun cooking tips. Don't just put found meat in a stew. Select the things
Maybe
that
just avoid found meat altogether.
Is it stuff that they like ran over with the vultures? Is that what it was?
yeah. Let me.
Yeah, I'm
I-
gonna real talk for a minute here. I didn't give much thought to what was in the stew. So.
All right. Look, Scott.
Oh wow!
It's a
Peek
rich,
behind the
rich
curtain.
vein. Rich vein.
Scott, follow real talk. We just want to determine that it's not halfling. So, real talk, but in character this time.
Okay, yes.
Real talk, Mel. I don't want to be one of those overbearing guests on today of all days.
Oh, it is an auspicious day.
Yes, it is. So auspicious. I just want to check. For some of my party members have dietary concerns.
Oh, of course.
Could you give me a quick rundown of what kind of found meats you've got in here, and I quickly ascertain whether any of those are code for halfling.
I'll keep strictly kosher.
They list
Halfling-
a number.
There's not
of lizard
halfling. There's not short
beasts.
pig. There's not.
There's nothing that sounds
Two-legged mutton.
as though it is code for sentient beings.
Okay. Yeah.
Rocky Mountain vulture oysters.
Yeah.
Any of
Featherless bird that's from the jungles and is half of size of human or anything like that. Nope.
Nope.
All right.
They say, "Oh, would you like a taste of it?"
I don't want to ruin the surprise for later.
you
All
should
right.
take a sniff of it though, at least.
Anticipation is the best spice.
I
He
noticed you
holds
guys
up a
were
little
really,
jar.
Wow.
Anticipation on it.
Is that's I have so much to learn about cooking. You guys were really inhaling pretty deeply there.
Oh yes, well you caught us. We were trying to be at one with the steam.
Is that like a part of the Feathergale Society?
Just gonna let that go, Tony?
I mean, what could you tell me more about what the heck that means?
Well, we practice. We try to center ourselves and clear our minds. Steam is very free, and it's,
guys, is the Feathergale Society a startup? Because I'm leaving.
and so we try to still our minds and make sure that we can steel our bodies and reject our the shackles
Wait,
of
they're stealing bodies. now?
mortal weakness and become at one with the steam.
All right, I'm
Would you
gonna
like to try?
Copy of Dianetics here, are they?
Sure. How are my Thetons doing? Oh no, our podcast has gotten canceled. Sorry, Jason.
Oh well, it had to happen.
This is how I knew it would end. I guess I will. I'll take a whiff of the steam. What could go wrong?
All right. Well, so they say what you must. They put down the spoons, and they both put their arms next to themselves, and they just are very still and sniff the steam. And you do the same thing, and you feel no revelatory experience. It's just your nose is a little too hot. It's kind of unpleasant, frankly.
Now, is this because Regdar's dead inside, or is he doing it wrong?
Well, you seem to be doing exactly what they're doing.
All right. Noted.
My
Preston-
internet dropped for a moment. What exactly is happening?
Regdar has joined the acolytes, and he is going to become at one with the steam.
Hey, your
So
self-esteem.
that's a thing. Like you asked about it.
He did
Yeah,
ask about
sorry.
it, and they said they were trying to be one with the steam, and so he is.
I figured if
noticed-
it was a bad idea, you were going to say something, and you didn't say anything.
Presta, as you are, your sandwich is being prepared. You look over and you see that there are the two initiates, and they are once again with their arms against their bodies and leaning towards the cauldron. The only difference, of course, is now Regdar is also next to them with his arms against his body, leaning towards the cauldron, huffing some steam. And you didn't hear their conversation, so you don't quite know what's going on.
Well,
I'll walk over and say, what you guys doing?
Trying to become at one with the steam.
Ooh, does that help in the cooking process?
It helps.
but it's good for your
center
self-esteem.
soul. It helps us on our journey to enlightenment. Would you like
Does this
to join
ring
us?
a bell for me at all? Have I heard of any, I don't know, stew steam cults?
This seems not that you are judgmental, but this seems rather odd.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to trust Regdar to report back on what he gets from the steam. I'm not going to.
All right.
I'm not going to try it myself. I'll go back to my sandwich.
Totally judgy. I'm just saying.
Regdar is done steaming, so he'll step back from the cauldron.
All right. Well, Presta has gotten her food. Regdar has gotten to be adjacent to the steam. I don't think he's at one with the steam. Ublal and Shara and Carlos, you are still in the stables. What are you doing down there?
Oh, we're leaving. We're headed back up. I want to go back up to the solarium and see what's going on.
Almal had been spending the intervening time softly, like cawing to the vultures to see if he could talk to them, but then he's good to go after that.
All right. So you head back upstairs.
Do vultures caw?
Yes, obviously.
And these.
Oh, sorry, that's bats.
You're thinking of bats.
Oh, dear. No bats. They're giant vultures. You head back up. You see the door to the kitchen is open, and you see Regdar is standing very close to a cauldron with steam, and you see Presta biting into a giant cheese sandwich.
Oh man, I'm on board for that cheese sandwich. They gave me one of those.
So
yeah.
Well, the bread and cheese is still out. They could very easily.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. There's a banquet in like an hour and a half. So.
It's true.
Yes, save room for stew.
It's filling a bread and cheese sandwich.
One of the initiates looks up and says, "Welcome. Would you like some food?"
Yes, I'd love some of that stew.
Well, you can have a taste, but we are saving it for the banquet.
I'll take a little taste.
All right, they give you
Maybe with some bread,
a tasting spoon, and a piece of bread, and they say, "Help yourself."
And so I do.
And the stew is delicious.
It's people.
As you taste the stew, you appreciate it.
That's right. It is. You say this stew is some fine stew to yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know if you.
This is what people tune in for.
Yeah. You're joining us for hour 3 of Stew Talk.
The big moment we finally learn that the stew is delicious.
Yeah.
The stew.
I was in suspense. I don't know about you guys.
You know what? Anyone who's listening after an hour of haggling over that half-like book,
Yeah.
you don't have
good payoff.
I really
we
feel
don't
like
have
that was
standards anymore.
we really course for our listeners right there.
We really pared things down here. It's really just the core people left. So.
That's right.
True. We've got 14 viewers. So do you want to do anything? You're all in the kitchen except for Kachka. Kachka's tuning her instrument in.
Oh
the-
yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm ready to head up to head up to our quarters. Maybe get a little bit of rest in before we go to the big shindig.
Party time.
Planning to take my sandwich back up to our room anyway. Not
Sandwich
just,
to
like,
go?
hover in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird to just like hover and cooking.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing about this stew inhalation.
When they joined me in the quarters, I let them know what I found in the Lord Commander's room, which is to say, a big nothing.
Just to check, like, have we all reconvened there, or do people need?
Yeah, everybody is in the Knight's quarters. I assume. If you are not, let me know.
Have we? I mean, it's a group. We've. It sounds like maybe not all of us, but collectively, we have been through a good part of this this spire, right? Like, it seems like there's not any large section of the spire that one of us hasn't checked out at this point. Is that true?
I think
that's
if there were
true.
some big secret
Yeah.
section, we would have found.
So there's not like a dungeon full of halfling envoys or something, at least not obvious.
Well, can I do like an architecture check or something to determine whether the
What style would you say?
the
this is?
spire does not necessarily match the number of rooms that we've seen? Like there might be a secret room somewhere.
This is the classical neo-ancient wizard style of Lost
You
Spire.
can tell by the columns at
You
the top.
can-
They're
Art
filling-
Deco influence.
I guess roll perception check.
This is really why we need an actual
at
dwarf.
disadvantage though, because this is a very difficult thing to ascertain.
All right. Well, that one's an 18,
Also, it's dumb.
and that one's a 17, so I get a 17.
You don't know.
Thanks for making me roll twice to find out that I don't.
You're welcome. If you were a dwarf, this would be a different conversation. But
So
Well, Carlos
I
is
feel like
dwarfy. Maybe he should check that out.
He's not a dwarf, though.
He's dwarfy though. You can't deny that.
he's closer
That's a
to
little-
a dwarf than Ketchka is.
Gotcha. That's a little racist. I mean, I know that we all look the same to you because you're a giant bug, which is also a little racist of me, but it's a little racist of you first.
racism all the way.
I
around.
will tell you that your group conversation about where you've been in the tower would tell you that you have pretty much looked at the entire stable level, which is the first level. You've seen much of the ground floor. You do know, and I've neglected to tell you this, that in the entryway there was another door.
How do we
that
know if
you
you
have
neglected to tell us?
Well, you are realizing now
Regdar
as
looked.
you are
Regdar
making.
looked in there.
No, Regdar did look into the door from the staircase, but in the entry hall itself, there's the
Oh, I
double
see.
door, but then there's another door that you did not
Got
go
it.
into. So
Hey,
you've seen
guys,
almost everything on the ground level.
Hey guys, have
Guys.
you heard the good stews?
Hey,
Uh,
oh jeez. Hey, listen up,
boy.
everybody. Listen
Oh,
up.
no.
That joke
Kinda
was
bread.
totally worth it for 20 minutes late, right? So
Listen up, guys.
this-
I wasn't going to tell you all this,
Oh.
but when I looked in at the guys making stew earlier, they were like sniffing it and they were acting real weird.
I tried that.
Sniffing
I-
stew.
Don't worry, though,
Sniffing
guys.
stew is the worst.
I tried that, but don't worry, it didn't have any effect. I didn't exhale, so I'm good.
on the
No, it's
second,
the inhale. The inhale is the concern, dude.
No, I think
If you didn't exhale, you're going to die.
I also had the stew. I tasted the stew, and it was good. It was fine. It's just stew.
He's one of them now.
on the second level, you have not. No one has gone anywhere on the second level. You have seen. You've looked through the door and saw the Great Hall, but you have not actually gone onto the
All right,
second
let's
level.
snoop in there. I
The
want to snoop. in there.
third level, you have.
Nope. The third level. We'll never know about the third.
I'll
level.
not go to the second level with you.
Shadowy forces don't want us to know about the third level.
Well, Scott's gone.
Not
Let's
the
investigate.
third
the
there he
second
is. He's back.
level.
Scott,
Everybody said something all at the same time, but I don't know what any of it was. So somebody tell me what you want to do.
no, actually, you froze up for a second, and I think you just got everything that was buffered at one time. So
Oh my gosh. Well then, perception
We-
is reality, Steve.
you're about
we
to tell us
heard.
about the third floor or something.
Yep.
All right. So the third floor, you have been in half of it in the knight's quarters, Shara's quarters, and Thrall's quarters. There are two other quarters that you have not looked into.
Shar, you moved in.
Shavra, whatever, the knights. Sarvra, there we are, Savra.
Savra.
And the top floor, which is the garden kind of pinnacle, you have been to, but you did not look around.
So third floor.
You are on the third floor right now.
Ah, great. Are there? So is there any doors besides the Great Hall door?
That is the second floor.
That's the second floor.
Oh, I'm super confused. Second floor.
So-
Dan,
Second floor is the Great Hall. That's where the
forgetting to draw an action castle map so you know where things were.
Good idea.
Mhm.
I have a map,
We're on a
but it
space
works.
station.
Yeah. So do we want to check out the ballroom before other people arrive?
it might not be a bad idea
or
to
do we-
scope it out.
Or do we
Check
need
if
to
there
go
are
in
any
an entrance?
bugs in the ballroom.
We want to make sure
Don't
that
we-
we get good seats too.
Well, but I mean, do we or do we want to make an entrance? How does this work? Does anyone
Well,
know
we
ballroom?
can check it out,
Go
head back
and
to the room,
leave,
and then
yeah.
Okay.
not everybody needs to go. I
We got to
trust
scout it
the-
out.
Did I just say I trust you guys? No.
Finally, after all these years, we finally won.
Erica's really sick today. You can tell.
I am. Yes, my brain is addled. But yeah, I do think it's not a bad idea to sort of check out the space that we will be in when the party is happening. You know,
Yeah,
just to
that
look for
seems like a thing-
exits and
It seems like a thing that
Just say
Kachka would be
that
interested in doing
Kachka-
as well, just to make sure that the performance space meets her.
Yes, Kachka needs to check the acoustics, and we are Kachka's road crew.
I also play the
Damn
Fipple
right.
flute, as you know.
Street
So
team.
I feel
Are
like
you
I
gonna,
need to
are you
get on
gonna play
this.
tonight too, Presta?
I think I might. I think I
think you
might. That meditation has really, like, I feel like I'm sort of in tune.
and Carlos can sit in the corner and strum his piccolo.
I have strummed a piccolo, so I could do that again.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Excellent.
Yeah, and Almal just got a flute actually at the junk shop. So
And I
And
can do readings
Ragnar
from
can
this-
do like a rap about pottery or something.
Yeah,
I do,
or I
and
can
I
do a
can play
reading. I can do a reading from this book of halfling genealogy.
Yeah. Can you make it sound urban though? Because I mean, you can't just talk about pottery. and genealogy.
I'm from Tyr. I think I'm the most urban of all of you.
A map
So-
has
I'm
appeared.
certainly not.
Do you mean urbane or?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
No.
Oh,
The
look,
map
maps.
has appeared. This is just for your reference, so you know where you have gone.
Oh, there are mysterious darkened areas that we have not checked out.
I don't know why you said that sarcastically, because that is true.
No, I'm
But
excited. I'm excited about it. That was not
Ah, the
sarcastic at all.
moment-
That was my excited sound.
The moment when I realized I was logged in as a game master, so I was like, "Oh no, those chairs are just slightly darker gray." Oops.
I'm
no.
going to quickly run down the stairs, pop open the doors to the entry hall, talk to Savra, and say, "Hey, what's in there?" and point at that door to the south.
She says, that
That
is
is the super secret room. Don't look.
And
in
I say,
there.
where the hell did Kachka go?
that is our weapons locker.
Oh. And I close the door.
All right.
Hey guys, it's
We're
the
a weird
weapon
bunch.
closet.
So I think I heard that you wanted to go to the Great Hall to check out the acoustics. So you go
Let's
to
go.
Yep.
This Great Hall spans half the diameter of the tower. Between the overlarge windows, tapestries depict scenes of gallant knights on flying hippogriffs, fighting dragons and jousting with one another amongst the clouds. High on the walls are the mounted heads of griffins, wyverns, owl bears, and manticores. A large curved table set for a feast stretches between the hall's twin hearths. Hearths, not hearths. Hearths are nothing.
That's where you
It's
put
pronounced
corpses in.
And also there are two Feathergale knights making ready for the feast.
It
They
sounds.
say, "Oh, hello."
See, like a Feathergale knight sounds really impressive, and I just imagine them like, riding a giant vulture into battle. But then they seem to spend basically a lot of time setting the table here, and that really.
They say, "Whoa, will you be joining us for the feast on this auspicious day?"
Amla leans over to one of them, to Kachka, and says, "Why they keep saying day suspicious?"
We will indeed, friend. We just needed to do a sound check in preparation for tonight's festivities.
Oh, entertainment! And he clapped the hands excitedly.
I'm concerned about this guy.
I'm just shaking
the
my
Lord
head. but
Commander
these
is
people
going all out.
strange.
Well, it is an auspicious day, friend.
Oh, yes, the most auspicious day. 10 years to the day the great Lord Commander founded the Feathergale Society.
So they say.
Who are we to argue?
Now, who
Well,
who
if you
has
need
better perception, Kachka or me?
Oh,
I have terrible perception, so it's not me.
Okay.
Well, that was easy.
I'm just wondering. Okay, so then maybe Kachka, you should play a few bars from a couple different locations, and the rest of us can sort of wander around and see,
Yes.
how it sounds from different.
I'll
Different
check you.
loca-
I think that sounds like a
here.
very good idea. And I think those of you who are working in here should perhaps focus your attention on what I'm doing because it's fascinating.
Well, we do
so-
have much work to make ready for the grand feast, but a little respite with the dulcet tones of a bard never hurt anyone.
Yes.
I'll roll.
Actually, he's hurt many people.
So I begin
Would it be
wandering.
perception or investigate if I'm specifically just looking to see? I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for.
I think it's perception if you don't see something and investigation if you do.
We'll roll.
That is correct. So if you're actively looking, that's investigation.
I got 21.
So Umlal is just kind of perceiving.
I see everything.
You see that there has been. It looks like the knights are doing exactly what they said they were doing, which is preparing for the feast.
Carlos rolled a 4. He sees a table.
He does see a table it is groaning under the weight of many platters full of various.
It's groaning. The table.
My delicacy.
Are you a mimic?
I got a 14 on investigation, like to look, behind tapestries for secret doors or anything like that.
All right. Well, you and Regdar pool your investigative skills, and you map out the room, and you take quadrants, and you ascertain that there are no secret doors.
Okay.
What's on the other side of this of the tower on this level?
Are you just tell me how you would like to ascertain?
we should investigate, or maybe we could ask one of the guys. But
Is
like,
there a door, or is it just like it looks like
It's
just
a
goes
hallway.
through?
It's a hallway, and you see that the hallway there are some doors leading off to the hall.
I'm not just going to check sound on other side of tower.
Actually, it is important to make sure that we're not disturbing anybody in another room.
Oh, well, they say the knights here say, well, everyone's going to be here, but feel free. There's just some quarters over there.
Yeah, there's one quarter to the north and another quarter to the south.
Wow.
All right. So yeah, Kachka can keep playing, and then we'll peek around.
Oh, Kachka's playing. I am wandering troubadour style throughout the room.
I will.
Playing chords on my guitar and taking notes periodically with a.
I'll take a look in the room to the south.
I'm all go north.
All right, so you both peek into these rooms, and you see a room much like the knight's quarters that you were just in but moments ago. In fact, it is identical.
How does it sound in here?
It sounds you can hear some of the guitar, but if you go in and close the door, it is silent.
Are there
Okay.
more? These are chests, kind of like the foot lockers from our
Yep.
room.
They are exactly the same.
All right.
I will, like, with the door shut, so it's silent. I will just quickly peek. I'm not gonna dig through. Just like open it up. Is this clothes?
You see clothing.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'll just make a quick perception check, see if anything's going on.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
19.
I rolled a
Move
1.
it away. Yeah, you perceive nothing, Presta, and Umlal, you also perceive nothing unusual.
All right.
All right.
Guess
I'll move on to the next room around.
All right, so all 4 of these rooms are the exact same. They are clearly all knights' quarters. They all have the same furniture. Each of them has 2 chests. I will say you can quickly peek into each one, and they all have a couple of them have cloaks, but generally they are all identical in that they have personal items and somewhere between 1 and 100 gold pieces in each.
I think you mean they have no gold. No.
If you want to take
All
it,
right.
I mean, the gold pieces are in kind of various valuable items, so you can
No, that's fine.
take them if you want.
It's not my
And I
jam.
will. I'll just head back to the great room and just say,
Sounds good.
it sounds fantastic in the hallway. And if somebody is feeling unwell and decides to go back to their room, we won't be disturbing them. So I feel like we are ready to go.
Huzzah! Says one of the knights.
Oh, easy, buddy.
I'm sorry, I get a little excited when we are celebrating the anniversary of the feather.
This auspicious day.
Well, it is a very auspicious day.
So how many anniversaries have you been here for, buddy?
This is my 2nd anniversary, although the 10th anniversary is much more auspicious than the 9th anniversary. So
Sure. Where
Quite
did you?
And
Where'd
for
you?
how much of that have you been Steam?
I have been Steam. That's a strange question. I don't know how to answer that question.
Have you been in the kitchen downstairs?
You must forgive my 3 crane friend. He has some interesting. It's his accent.
I, sir, good sir or madam.
okay.
I am a knight. I do not go into the kitchen.
Oh. And where did you come from before you were a proud member of the Feathergale Society? Where in Athos was your home?
I come from Uruk.
City of Lions.
Yeah.
Mm.
Regdar pulls at his cuffs uncomfortably, making sure his tattoo is fully covered.
Well, this knight is not really paying much attention to you, so he has not noticed such things.
Thank you. All right. Well met, friend.
Mm. Well, the feast will be ready in about an hour, so if you want to come back.
We'll be here. You can count on it. I was not meant to sound ominous. I just don't know how to talk to people.
I look forward to enjoying more of your company later.
All right.
These people
So,
are too nice, and it's creeping me out.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the villain turn, but so far, we've literally.
Are we in the first part of Get Out? Is that what's
Are
happening?
we the bad guys?
Yeah, guys.
I think maybe that's it. I'm just relieved. This is
I
nice.
don't know. I mean, it's been like 2.5 hours since any of us murdered anyone or got caught in a lie, and I feel like we're all starting to feel itchy.
All right, I murder Regdar.
Well,
He had it coming.
let's go upstairs where we were going to have our nap, and we'll try to uncover the other half of the map
Yep.
there before
Check
we go take our nap.
I'm going to stay here in the Great Hall, check out the performance space, and start to compose a little song about the Feathergale Knights.
Ah.
Oh,
All right. Well,
all right.
You
It's going to be called
upstairs.
This Auspicious Day.
You go upstairs and you split up and look into the rest of the knight's quarters. They all look exactly the same. They all have 2 chests. You can look in them. They all, once again, have various personal items of various value. I don't know if you want to go into. Keshka has checked the thrall's quarters, and that's the other quarters in there.
Well, I don't know which that. I don't know that I necessarily remember which that is. So I'm going to check the one to this south and east.
The southeast is let me there's the
I mean, I assume north is up in this map.
it is
Let me spell it.
yeah,
There
so
it
the
is.
southeast, that's the knight's quarters.
All right.
Look around, it's the same.
Yep.
Same.
Okay.
Have been in is in the northwest.
All right. I'll check that
So
out
the
too.
southwest, you check out the southwest one, and it is the knight's quarters. The one in the northeast is thrall's quarters, so it has a single bed, a single chest, and a writing desk. No other quarters have a writing desk in it.
You should
Are
roll
there
perception.
drawers on the writing desk?
There are. Well, you look at the writing desk and you see a cylindrical leather case.
Ooh. First of all, perception check just to see if there's anybody else around. And that's pretty good. 23.
Well, you hear the rest of your party moving about, but nothing else.
Okay. Yeah, I will take a look in this case.
All right. It contains a letter. Is your character literate?
Yes, I
All right.
am. We determined that like last session, I believe. So
think
there.
so. So you see a letter and you read it. I assume you read it.
What is it? What is it written in? Is it in common?
It is in common.
Okay, then yeah.
And it says, Mersoka, which is the Lord Commander's name, we are pleased to hear about the outcome
This
of
is
your...
the third different pronunciation of that name that I've heard.
Steve, have
It
you
is.
played D&D with me before? Is this unusual?
Nebraska, Merhasa.
I liked it better when you
I'd be
used
worried
names
if it was
like
the same
Jim.
every time.
Try to give flavor, people.
Also, is it Thrall or Thurl? This is important. I'm writing songs about these people.
Poetic license.
I see.
Also, Steve, you have an unerring ability to interrupt me when I'm trying to read something, so that's always great.
Yes.
So the letter continues after the opening salutation, which is the only part I could read. We are pleased to hear about the outcome of your altercation with the Black Earth cult, and we praise you for the capture of one of their prisoners. The halfling from Bogo has an interesting tale to tell, and we shall enjoy interrogating.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
Timing.
Shall enjoy interrogating.
Wow.
Curses.
So does that mean these guys are good or bad? I'm extra confused now.
It sounds like
Black,
they fought the Black Earth guys.
right?
I'm not
But
finished.
We
I'm
don't
not
like those
finished
guys.
reading this letter. Are you finished listening to me read
No,
it?
you
Back.
got locked up
He's back.
again.
Okay.
Scott.
It was
All
very
right.
dramatic.
Well, I don't know what you heard
The
last,
last-
so I will
We
start with
shall
this
interrogating.
halfling.
Interrogating.
Interrogating was the last word we heard.
All right. This halfling from Bogo has an interesting tale to tell, and we shall enjoy interrogating her further. Keep a close watch on the Sacred Stone Monastery. I want to know what our enemy is planning next. Your beloved queen, Arisi Kalanoth. Will
I
sound
recognize
familiar
that
next
name.
time I say it.
Do we know who that is?
You do not.
It's Arisi Kaladoth,
Well, sure.
her beloved queen.
That is their beloved queen.
Right, so it sounds like one of these.
Okay. I will
halflings
put the
that
letter
they
back,
look
like as exactly as I can in the way that I found it, and try to leave the case exactly as I found it as well. And are there any drawers on the desk? Did you
for.
say?
What was the name of that temple again, Scott?
The Sacred Stone Monastery,
All right.
which you would
We-
recognize because you visited the Sacred Stone Monastery.
Yes.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
They were not very friendly.
They were
They were
not
not.
friendly. They were
They
very mean.
were yes, and you walked
It
around the whole
wasn't
thing.
Associated with the BlackRock clan, that doesn't surprise me.
Black Earth cult.
Black Earth, whatever.
Uh,
Okay, correct me, Scott. That's a good idea. You're in a perfect position to be doing
Please
that.
do.
Wind talker.
yes, there are drawers that is full of stationery, stapler. There's no
Ooh.
stapler. Writing implements, that kind of thing, but nothing. I assume you give it a quick once over. You don't see anything of interest.
Okay. Then I will make another quick perception check to make sure that there's nobody right outside the door before I leave. And that's 13.
You hear footsteps from coming down from the pinnacle level.
Do I are they high enough that I could actually, you know what? Nope, I am just gonna just exit the room. Not so much stealthily as just quietly, whoops, how did I get it? This is not our room. These round corridors are very confusing.
And you see a Feathergale Knight come right onto the landing as you're leaving, and he looks at you. You recognize him as one of the ones who was flying one of the vultures, and he says, "Can I help you?"
No, before he even says anything, I say, "Can you help me? Can you point
I
me to
can help you.
Stavros' quarters? All of these doors look the same."
Yes. Well, when we don't label our doors because we are here all the time, so we just kind of know everything. It's a common mistake with visitors. And he points to Savra's door.
Okay. Thank you. It was kind of her to let us rest in her
Yes.
chamber. And on my way up from the Great Hall, I got completely lost. Thank you. I still have part of my cheese sandwich, which I'm nibbling on.
Excellent. Well, I hope I'll see you at the festivities in an hour.
You will indeed. And then I
Well, good.
head through the door into Zavr's chambers.
And he continues down the stairs.
All right. So I tell everybody what I found. You guys found a clue.
A clue.
Finally.
It only took us 2.5 hours to get one.
Yeah, but I also got a cheese sandwich, so I feel like I'm having a great day.
Oh, well, that makes sense then.
All
Yeah,
right.
so
So I
do
told
we
them
share
about the letter and the fact that somebody has a halfling held captive, and I am a little confused now about the relation of the Black Earth cultists to the delegation that was traveling around. Like the letter made it sound like whoever they captured the halfling from were Black Earth cultists.
Well,
Those people have not been nice to us, so I don't know what's happening.
It could well be that the halfling was already a prisoner of the Black Earth cult.
Yes, it says, you remember
But
from
this
the
is good,
letter.
because we don't like the Black Earth cult, so our needs align with these people's desires. So when we talk to Thurl later, we can maybe couch our interest in a mutual dislike of the Black Earth cult.
And you know from the letter says that basically they captured this halfling from the Black Earth cult who had her as a prisoner.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. I think
And did it suggest that the halfling was here, or the halfling had already been turned over to the queen?
It suggests that, well, so the phrase "we shall enjoy interrogating her further," it leaves that it is unclear where
and
this
then I just
halfling is.
mentioned the queen offhand.
Because we haven't seen a halfling. We were certainly looking for a halfling.
You have seen no halflings.
But we have not. There is one room that we have not looked in that we were told was a weapon
locker.
Yeah. It could also be a halfling storage.
It could be.
Yeah, they don't take up that much room.
That's true.
It could be a lot of halflings in there.
Yeah, it could just be wall-to-wall halflings, and there'd still be a lot of ceiling space.
It's like cordwood.
Yep.
I opened the door to Savra's room and asked, "Do you have a halfling in there?"
Well, let me ask this question: would it be worth? Also, you notice giant map, 4 floors, all kinds of stuff. Not a single bathroom.
What do you think the windows are for?
Lots of windows, 100-foot canyon.
Guys, what are you, vultures?
They just take a vulture out, to, into like a special trench, and then they
You know what? I regret this line of questioning.
Yeah,
As you should.
you have only yourself to blame.
Would it here? All right, we've been really good about plans and plausible lies so far. What could go wrong?
It's time to change that.
When we go to the Great Hall, perhaps when Kachka transitions us from Celebration into Hootenanny, would that be a good time for someone to sneak away and see if they could get entrance into that room on the first floor and make sure there's no halflings there?
No, that plan's too good. We need to do
All
something
right.
else.
Well, Kachka can't do it because he's in charge of hootenanning. He's going to be playing his instrument.
It would be really impressive if I could hootenanny and search the first floor.
Well, yeah, you just start the key in Kachka. You just start a Congo line, and then oops, it accidentally went into your secret prison room. I'm a guest here. I didn't know which way the Congo line was supposed to go.
Yeah,
my
that sounds
stealth
good.
is only a +3, so I don't know if I'm.
I'm almost happy
sneaky.
to just like pretend like he's looking for the bathroom and go into the weapon room.
I think it would be great if somebody stealthy was able to.
And if you get
I
caught,
am a
we find
rogue.
out where the bathroom is. So that's a plus too.
Win-win.
Yeah, I think Shara is probably the best.
myself
Our best
Also,
bet.
Shara, you could be like, I'm looking for the elemental bathroom.
Right. The special.
Little elementals room.
Well, tell me, basically the next thing that's going to happen is the feast will begin and you will go to the Great Hall, so just tell me when you're ready to do that.
I think we're ready. Is that
Let's do it.
foolhardy?
All right.
I mean, do we want to figure out how much we're like? Do we want to figure out how much we want to reveal to Thrall while we're chatting with him after he's been liquored up a little bit?
I think we're just travelers who are very interested in what's going on in the area because we don't want to run afoul of anything that we can't deal with. That feels like that's a pretty good cover story so far.
And not entirely
And we
untrue.
can also, like Steve said, mention how much we have had some trouble with those awful Black Earth cultists.
New plan, we're tapestry inspectors, and I've only told half of you the plan.
Oh, no.
Sounds about right.
I slit Ragnar's throat.
I put on my provider.
I kept our
Mage armor.
Crud. See, I knew it wasn't going to work. It was just a joke.
All right, so you go to the Great Hall, and Samra comes up
party
and says,
time.
"Hey, the party's ready. Come join us." And you say, "Great, woot." Clad in the finest garments of velvet brocade, the knights feast at a curved table in the Great Hall. Thrall sits at the head of the table. "Honored guests," he says, "tell us of your adventures. Let us aid you in any way we can. Please enjoy our hospitality. Sit, eat, drink."
This seems like the
This guy's really
time
bossy.
we launch into the song that I've been composing.
I forget how many of our adventures are cleared for like
So
how much of them are redacted.
What is that the whole stone face thing?
Yeah, the
you guys
stone
have
face
told me
stuff, that's a
that
pretty
tale
good story,
a few
right?
times. That's a good story.
Yeah.
So I step forward proudly, guitar in hands.
And yes, Thrall is at the head of the table, and he claps.
Yes. And
I've heard tell of your mastery of instruments. Good. Thrall.
well, you ain't seen nothing yet, my friend.
I ain't seen nothing at all.
While this is happening, I'm sneaking away. Like while the
Or do you want to stealthily sneak away?
I think I can just like slip out here and save my stealthiness for in a little bit.
Well, a knight says, "Oh, can we help you go anywhere, adventurer?"
Oh. I need to use the restroom.
We don't have restrooms.
That's fascinating.
So at this point, I'm
In
launching
which case, you need to exit the tower through the front
Right.
door.
I am launching into my song, as I mentioned, called "This Auspicious Day," which goes into detail about how, at least as much detail as we could put together, about how thorough
This is a great song, Steve. How do you
10
rhyme with
years
that?
ago found this tower and founded the great Feathergale Knights.
There's a lot of great songs about days, day by day.
And I'm going to slip in some verses about being one with steam, and also a very pointed bridge where I discuss how they've fought back the dread Black Earth cult and won the day against them time and time again.
Well, at the first mention of the Black Earth cult, and we will get to Shara, because this is Ketchka, as always, has taken a slight little turn and expanded it to several minutes.
Well, I'm hoping perhaps that this might distract the guards that she was chatting with, and they might let her
they're
go.
guards. They're just attending the party and asking someone who is leaving if they need any help.
Oh, okay.
All the Feathergale Knights are enjoying the song, and as soon as you say the Black Earth cult, they all freeze and look at Thrall, and his face darkens. But before that, Shara, he says, "Oh, yeah, we don't have privies in the tower, but you'll have to go." And he tells you like a trench that is nearby that you can use to go through the entrance. You also notice, as you are keeping, since you plan to perhaps stealthily sneak around the tower, that only Feathergale Knights are in the Great Hall, so you know that there are many initiates that are just kind of hanging out somewhere.
Okay. All right. So I think this is the point where I'm gonna like be stealthy.
Okay, so you have left the chamber. You are going down the stairs and stealthily approaching the ground level, I assume.
Yep. And I got a 25 to stealth. So
You are very stealthy, indeed. We don't really need to use the map. So you stealthily go down the stairs, and you see the double doors to the entrance hall. I'm assuming you are trying to go to that room that is supposedly a weapons locker. The door is closed.
okay. So I'm gonna try to open it.
All
Still
right,
stealthily.
go for it.
Okay. What am I rolling specifically here?
Roll a stealth check again.
Okay. So that's a 23.
Okay, you open it very quietly. You even take a moment to, you grease the hinges a little bit, and you open it very silently. You peek in, and you see that there are two initiates standing in opposite corners of the entrance hall. They do not seem to look at you or look at the door. You aren't actually in there yet, but they are standing there.
Are they
hanging out.
talking or anything, or they're just standing there?
They seem to be standing very still with their arms next to their bodies, as if they are trying to be at one with steam, but there is no steam. Very still.
Okay, so I'm gonna open the door all the way.
Okay.
And get as good a look as I can at what's going on in there.
Have you stopped trying to be stealthy?
I've stopped trying to be stealthy. I'm just like looking and trying to look as lost as possible.
Well, then one of them looks at you and says, honored guest, can we help you?
Yeah,
You're
and
missing
so
the
like,
feast. The feast is upstairs.
okay, yeah, I was actually trying to find this trench I heard about, and I went out there, and it's kind of dark, and I couldn't find it, and I was just really hoping that I could get some better directions here. And like, I'm looking around the room, like not wildly, but just like observing as much as I can, taking in as much.
This trench I heard about.
And the initiative seems
This is the total party kill group story.
I'm here to see a man about a trench.
Sorry.
How did you get outside? This is the only entrance to the tower.
Oh no, you must have been real lost. Oh man, we better go check the solarium.
So happy you asked.
Wait,
You were
no.
watering the plants for you.
Look, I've been drinking. I just need some help.
Oh, well, hey, you don't need to get hostile. We're just trying to help. I'm just trying to understand, ma'am. We'll take you. I'll walk you right to the trench, and I will look away when you use the trench. So he motions to grab your elbow so he can escort you. Gallantly.
Thank you. I can walk.
I don't need no help. I'm
You
fine.
said you were drinking. I just wanted to make sure that you wouldn't fall down.
I appreciate it.
Is that a threat?
And he
It's all right, man. I'm steam. No problem.
He gestures to the other initiate and says, "Lower the drawbridge, and we must help this woman." And so he lowers the drawbridge. They open the door, and he walks you out to a trench.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna be like, I can find my way back. Thank
the
you.
trench.
Yeah. Scott,
The trench. It is clear.
Scott, is this trench on your map? Was this all planned for?
Yes, this is all exactly what I thought was going to happen.
A lot of trench logistics that you were figuring out ahead of time.
And he says, "Well, if you don't want, do you think you can find your way back? It is dark.
Yeah, I'm good.
Our
Thank you.
spire
That is
is built
dangerous.
over a huge precipice.
Right.
I'm disappointed.
Also
that
true.
There's no flavor text for the trench. It's
You don't want to know the flavor text for the trench.
That's not a good flavor. All right. So while we're the initiate will leave you to the trench, and he will walk alone back to the tower or the spire. Back in the great hall, the party is clapping along with Ketchka's song. The Feathergale Knights are not, and Thrall stops. He says, "How have you heard of the Black Earth cult? What do you know of the Black Earth cult, Bard?"
Well, quite simply, we have had our dealings with the Black Earth cult. They are evil, we are good, and you too are good, so we simply assumed that you have fought them as well. Perhaps
That seems to be quite a jump of logic, but
well, it's poetic license, my friend. Bards love this stuff.
Are you mocking my accent?
Not at all.
He talks like this every time he's on stage. It's his
And
persona.
I do a little flourish.
Her persona.
Her.
Party.
Sorry, Scott, you froze up there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Excellent. If I were an adventuring party such as yourself, I would suggest that you go to the Sacred Stone Monastery, where I hear the Black Earth cult is up to no good. And check it out. It is a bit far for us to range as Feathergale Knights, but I think it would do a good for Athos and the society if you would check it out and see what they're up to. I hear they are doing bad things.
Well, perhaps we could discuss in private what you know of this sacred.
Private?
stone
We have no
monastery.
secrets in the Feathergale Knight. My fellow brothers know all of about our adventures and fights with the Black Earth cult. There's no need to hide.
Secrecy is not a concern of mine, my friend. I simply do not want to disrupt the celebrations on this auspicious day.
Well, having brought up one of our most
Oh man.
One of our most hated enemies. You have brought the celebration to a halt.
Kachka
Well.
can stop any party.
Well, killer.
we and you stand aligned against this dread threat to the forces of good.
In fact, Kachka, how about you play that number about the time that we fought all of those members of the Black Earth cult?
Yes.
In that pit.
A perfect
Great
song.
song. It was a big
auspicious
fight.
day.
Really exciting.
Shara, what are you? You're done at the trench.
I'm well, sure.
Do you have anything to do with the French, really?
Not really. All right. So I'm gonna. Okay, I'm gonna re-stealth, I think, and try to sneak in.
Okay.
Hopefully, there's enough yelling from above that the acolytes are distracted.
Well, the drawbridge is down and the door is open, so you can easily get in. You see that the initiates are just standing there still.
Okay, and they're not looking in the other direction or anything.
They are not.
Okay, so I rolled a 17 for stealth.
Let's see how perceptive our initiates are. All right. So you cross the drawbridge. You kind of peek into the open gate entranceway and see the initiates. They both have their eyes closed as if they are meditating. And they
Okay,
do
so
not notice you.
I'm gonna go for the door in the alleged weapons room.
Okay. You stealthily make it there. I'll say your stealth. That first stealth roll covers the traversing the floor to get to the door. Just give me another stealth check to open the door.
Okay.
It is not locked.
It's a 15.
All right.
They keep getting lower and lower and lower as I roll. I'm gonna grab another.
What is perception? All right. So you open the door very quietly. And do you want to just look in? Do you want to go in? What do you want to do?
I think I'll just sneak in. Like, I've established that I'm probably like a drunk rogue, so I'm just gonna go in and close the door. And if I need to open it and make something up, I can. But like, I don't want to be caught just peeking in, so I'll go
Maybe
in.
you should pee in there just to have a
Make it really
Right.
convincing.
You open the door just wide enough to slide yourself in, and you close it behind you. And you look around, and you see that there are racks of weapons, long swords, 4 suits of scale mail, 4 shields, 4 helmets, 4 longbows, and 4 quivers of 20 arrows each. And there's nothing else in the room.
Nothing. No traps. No trapdoors. No nothing.
Well, you have to investigate that, but
Okay.
nothing obvious in the room.
So I got a 16 for an investigation.
All right, you are investigating, and as you are investigating, we will go back to the Great Hall. So just as Kachka's about to start her tale of the Black Earth cult battle, a door to the Great Hall flies open, and a sentry from the pinnacle shouts, "Manticore, it's on the move!" And all of the Feathergale Knights stand up as one, and Thrall says,
the members of Manticore, right?
"We will come back to this Black Earth cult, but we should take this opportunity to slay this monster that has been terrorizing the land." From his finger, he removes a feather-patterned golden ring set with a garnet and holds it aloft. "A prize for anyone who brings me the beast's heads. Honored guests, would you like to join our Manticore hunt?"
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we sure this Manticore is evil?
All Manticores are evil.
Whoa, not all Manticores.
Whoa.
Man, oh, Manticore. We do.
Wow.
I make all the rules in this world. And I can tell
The
you
Manticore
Manticores
is Regdar's favorite
are
movie.
evil.
Too much Manticore
so
explaining.
I like the thin. I prefer the thin Manticore myself.
Mhm.
Shara, you find no secret traps, no secret doors, no traps, nothing in the weapons locker. It is, as it seems, a simple weapons locker.
All right.
Also,
well,
it's about to be full of knights arming to fight a Manticore.
Yeah,
Spoiler
That's
alert.
true.
Good time
And
to get out
as
of the
you
water.
are finishing up checking, you hear a lot of the door. You hear doors slam open, and this door to the weapons locker opens, and you see 4 knights looking at you saying, "The Manticore hunt! Will you join us?"
Yeah.
And they don't even stop for you. They don't stop for you to say anything. They just kind of scoop you up and take you with them. Is there anyone who is not joining the Manticore hunt?
Ragnar might be allergic to manticores, but I think he's going along for now.
All right. Well, you everyone sweeps down to the stalls, and the four Feathergale Knights hop on, and so you can choose at this moment. This kind of game mechanics for the Manticore hunt. If you would like to, the Feathergale Knights are a group, and you guys can be either part of that group, or you can start your own group, or you can have more than one group for hunting the Manticore.
So are they putting more than one person per vulture for this manticore hunt? Is that how it's...
No, the only 4 of the knights are going, and they are each on one vulture.
I mean, do we know how to use a vulture?
They
I
assume
don't-
that
Manticores fly. Is that even a thing?
Manticores are flying things. Does everyone know what a Manticore is? Your characters would know what a Manticore is.
Well, it depends on who you ask. I mean, it's like a lion with a scorpion's tail and something else.
It's got bat wings, I think.
So the answer is you don't know what a Manticore is.
So Manticores fly is all I needed to know.
I don't need all this Manticore splaining.
A Manticore has a vaguely humanoid head, the body of a lion, and the wings of a dragon. Its long tail ends in a cluster of deadly spikes that can impale prey at an impressive range.
I just feel like the human head thing was like a real letdown. Like they really phoned in that part of the manticore.
Yeah, does it have a human voice too? It's like, "Hello, I'm a Manticore.
Stand back! I'll hit you with my tail."
It does speak common.
I'm trying to get my CPA, but you know.
Check this
Okay,
out.
so
I've got
are they-
impressive range.
Are they offering to have like an actual knight that knows how to fly one of these birds? Like have us hop on behind them, or how are they planning to have us do that?
It doesn't seem all that organized, but they say if you feel like you talk to the guy that was in the stable actually, and he says if you feel like you can ride one of our giant vultures on your own, all right. If you can't, I will have one of my brothers.
You literally told us not to approach them because they might like bite our arms off,
Exactly.
and now
I
you're
don't
like,
think
"Go
that's a
do
good
it."
idea.
Everything we were told about vultures
insanely
was thrown out
trusting
the window
knights.
as soon as a manticore entered the scene.
You could see the Feathergale Knights are very excited about this. So.
Yeah.
I think we should help
It's an auspicious
Stay-
day.
stay in one group because I feel like we want to be in their good graces so we can
Yeah.
get some information from them.
Plus, we can show off how awesome we are.
Does anybody have decent animal handling?
I got
First of all.
2.
No, not me. I minus
Negative
+3.
1.
Got a 0 here.
That
I think-
+3 might be our best.
Ouch.
Who has the +3?
Me? I do.
Oh, okay. I'm with Presta.
Hey.
All right. Well, now the question is: so there are 5 of you, and so there will be 5 Feathergale Knights, and they say you can choose to either ride with a Feathergale Knight, one additional rider, or you can fly your own
I think
vulture.
I think they
you.
should drive, and we should ride shotgun.
Yeah, Amla will
Yep.
jump
Yes.
on behind the biggest vulture available.
They
And I'll
are
take
all
the
giants.
second biggest.
Oh,
I will
was
Otherwise,
down
my
in
legs will
normal.
just hang down.
Yeah.
All right, so you are all on a giant vulture with a Feathergale Knight.
If you can ride a kank, you can ride a vulture.
Awesome.
And that is not how it works. They
They
The
don't make
vultures-
us do something where we have to like parallel park the vulture before they let us take it out.
No, you're not taking
You have
a,
done
a vulture
3-point
driving
turn
test.
in a vulture.
You fly up into the night sky looking
man, do
for
we have
a
to merge?
manticore. And let us see. You're flying around for about a minute, and you don't see anything. You could tell that the Feathergale Knights are hooting and hollering. They are very excited, and they are flying as fast as they can, which is kind of terrifying. And as you're flying, you will. Let's see. Okay, so after about 2 minutes, you hear you're all flying together, kind of in a pattern. One of the Feathergale Knights, the one that has Ketchka on his giant vulture, pulls out a large horn and blows it, and it's a signal that they have found the Manticore.
And I
if
play
you
a power chord to go along with it.
You are hanging on for dear life with all 4 of your arms. You do not play anything.
I've
And
got
you,
legs too to hang on with.
you are terrified, Ketchka. You're not playing anything on the back of a giant vulture.
I disagree.
Well, I win because I'm the DM. It is so you have about 100-foot range of sight, and it flashes within 50 feet of the giant vulture that has Regdar on it. Regdar, you see this manticore flying near you, and as you look, you notice that the manticore is swiveling its tail towards you, and you think to yourself, I wonder if those spikes are ranged weapons. And as you think that, 3 of those spikes are thrown towards you.
This is unfortunate for Regdar.
So we'll see what happens. And they all miss. They come very close to hitting the giant vulture, but they don't. And the Feathergale Knight kind of pokes you, and he says, "Did you see that?" And he laughs. Ha ha ha! I love the hunt.
Regdar attempts to also laugh. Yes! Haha! Hunting! Yes!
And now everyone can see the manticore. And the Feathergale Knights are going to attack it. They have javelins, so they're all going to throw their javelins. There are 5 of them, so they will attempt to hit this thing. And they... oh, they have spears, not javelins. They do not seem to... Oh, here we are, 14. All right. The 3 of the spears actually hit the manticore, and it lets out a large cry, "Ah!" as it is in pain. And I roll this. All right. So it takes a goodly amount of damage. And then it kind of flies back off into the inky fog that is shrouding the area. But before it does that, I suppose anyone can have an opportunity to attack it if they like.
How hard would it be to jump off the back of a vulture onto a manticore?
Umlauf feels like he could do it.
All right, sweet. What do I roll?
Yeah, nothing you want to be on more than a back of a creature that has a spiked tail that can weave around.
You-
I mean, what? Is he going to stab himself?
Acrobatics.
Are you sure it's acrobatics? Maybe athletics? Athletics seems like a much.
Acrobatics is what it would be. Also, you are several hundred feet above the ground.
12.
Oh, God.
All right.
Umlal.
Umlal misses the manticore
Oh boy.
and starts plummeting to the floor.
Me
All
regret
right.
nothing.
I will
You know-
immediately activate our stupid griffin.
I
And-
have something I can do to help him.
Okay.
Can I?
If I see
going.
Regdar doing anything, I will hold off. But I've got it in my hand.
Maybe we should hang on and see if the guy just circles around and grabs him.
Well, Regdar is going to cast Featherfall. He was going to use a fireball on the manticore, but instead he is casting Featherfall, which will make it easier for him to be caught. And yeah. So
All right, so he casts that, and then one of the knight that the Umlal jumped off the giant vulture is kind of swoops down, and Umlal lands lightly back on where he was.
Yeah,
All right,
I was
take
going
me
to
up
try
again
to-
for a second shot.
oh God.
I would like to
I would
take
like-
this opportunity to attempt to cast Hypnotic Pattern on the manticore,
Oh, all right.
wherein I create a twisting. Am I within 120 feet of the manticore, first of all?
You are. You were within 50 feet, as I said.
That's magnificent. So I'm going to create a twisting pattern of colors that weaves through the air
Okay.
inside a 30-foot cube.
And what do I have to do?
You must make a Wisdom saving throw.
Excellent. What is the DC?
Would be 16.
All righty. I make my Wisdom saving throw.
Well, damn you. Nothing happens then.
All right.
Manticores are wise, I guess.
All right. So Umlal went, Regdar went, Keshka went, Carlos, Presta, or Shara?
Carlos is going to fire off his Dehada, his ranged
Ooh.
weapon.
Get yourself a manticore.
That's a crit.
Ooh.
Oh,
I'm
So
just
10?
relieved that Carlos didn't also jump off his
So 10 damage.
10 damage. All right.
Is there something special with that, Tejada? It's not magical or anything, is it?
Actually, I think was that a crit? It says 1d20.
Oh no,
plus
sorry, you're
6.
right. No, it's not a crit. It was a 20. Sorry about that. So it's six,
Well, then it's
6 damage. Yes.
It gains back 4 points of damage.
Stupid Manticore.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Shara.
I was just gonna say I've got my crossbow.
Yeah, I was
guess.
actually also going to ask if I would actually be able to fire my bow
Yeah.
from this thing, or if
Oh,
that's
I'm sorry.
too much.
Also, I'm level 5, which means I also hit it for 10 damage.
Oh, right. You get to attack twice.
Okay. Yes, you can. I will say you can fire your bow from the back of this giant vulture.
Okay.
I mean, why
Go
are
ahead,
we here
Presto.
if we can't do that?
All right.
Why are any of us here, Jason?
Has
Make it
somebody already done
Deep
some
thoughts,
damage to it?
Yes.
Has any like
it has been damaged.
awesome. So that would be longbow 24 to hit.
That hits.
All right. So where's my D8? Why are D8s always the hardest to find? There we go. 5, 8. 11 points of piercing damage.
Nice.
Excellent.
And then I will try again, since also 5th level, get to attack twice. And that is one less, so 23.
That hits.
All right, and this will be less because I only get that extra die once. So 6 points of piercing damage.
All right. This manticore does not look very happy.
All
And
right,
Shara,
take it down.
Okay, so I'm hitting it with my crossbow. 17.
17 hits.
Oh, okay. So I get 1d6 plus 3 plus my sneak attack. So I get 4d6 plus 3. Oh, that's a lot of ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 11.
All right. It is still alive, but not looking happy about it. I mean, it's happy that it's alive, but it is not happy with the situation that it has found itself in, and it flies off into the inky darkness. And now we have to see if we can find it again. So who wants to roll for the party?
Roll what?
I can do that.
Just roll a d20.
Does being in the air above the desert count as being in the desert?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Isn't existence in a way being in a desert?
Somebody just needs to roll a d20 with no modifiers for
They
me.
say no man is an island, but they don't say no man
qualifier
is
roll
an
is
island.
in the
16.
desert on Athos.
All right,
does
so
not-
you fly around for another minute. The Feathergale Knights are very impressed with your battle prowess, by the way. They are hooting and very excited. They cannot seem to find the Manticore, though. And let's see if the Manticore can find you.
Oh no.
Ooh.
It's the worst game of hide and go seek ever.
It is indeed. All right.
It's more a game of seek and seek.
When you say can find you, are you rolling an attack right now? Because I may want to throw some cutting words in there.
Well, in order for cutting words to work, you need to be able to see where the thing is coming from, and you see no Manticore, so you can not use cutting words.
Mm-hmm.
Because words require line of sight. That makes
The
sense.
cutting kind do.
Well, you just want to do cutting words to anything
No,
in the
it's gotta-
range
it's
that
gotta
might
be
be an
within-
enemy.
It's got to be within 60 feet. So.
Well, there you go. So Shara, the knight that you are riding the giant vulture with, suddenly sprouts 2 Manticore spikes from his back as he takes 14 points of damage.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, he does not look very good. And then as soon as that happens, he yells out and he wheels his giant vulture back towards the spire, and it is clear that he is heading home.
Oh,
Goodbye.
As I don't want to die on this most auspicious day.
all right. Well,
Is
Regdar
he
is
within
gonna-
range where I could heal him potentially, so he would come back?
No, they flew away.
Dang.
We should try and inspire the remaining Feathergale Knights. Come on, lads. There's one thing my father always told me is that dessert tastes much better after you've killed a manticore.
Yeah.
Regdar
It
is
was
so full
weird.
of wisdom.
Well, I'd love to
I've
play
found that
some
to be
sort of
true everywhere.
inspiring battle hymn at this point, but I'm terrified.
You're not terrified. It's just very difficult to play an instrument. I will allow you to attack, but you cannot play your instrument. You could use any spell that requires your instrument as a focus, but you can't actually play it.
Oh, all right.
So someone else roll a d20 for me. You are all looking for the manticore.
I failed with the 16, so somebody else do it.
Well, you don't know what you need.
I'm rolling. 14.
All right. Another minute goes by and no sight of the manticore. Let's roll again.
I got it. Nope.
3.
All right.
Classic home roll.
You
Dan,
guys
how have you played D&D for so many years and you're still so bad at this?
I don't
You
know.
fly
I'm
around
trying to
for a few
practice.
more minutes, and the Shavra, who is there, Shavra, what's her name?
Savra.
Shavra, there you go. She seems to
I
be in
think it's
charge.
Sabaro.
Sabaro, she says, "Let's head back.
I've got pizza.
We've lost the manticore."
No, we have not. Let's stick it out.
All of them ignore the bard and say, "Fly back to the spire."
No, we can do this. Come on.
You've given up.
Yes,
I'm not impressed with Feathergale Knights.
That's fine. And
Don't hit them while they're flying you around.
What if I try to
They-
intimidate my guy into staying?
You
They
mere
land.
mimic of brave knights.
they land, and they are in very high spirits because the battle has their blood coursing, and they say, fellow adventurers, you impress us with your battle prowess. Come, let us go back to the feast hall and regale Thrall with the tale.
There is cold
The
soup
tale
for
of how we
dessert.
failed to kill a manticore.
Guys, I think these guys have a deep and rich internal mythology. That's
I
really
think-
based up.
I think they mean regale him with the tale of Carlos doing 16 points of damage to the manticore. I think that's what they're saying.
And three of them
And
hit the
Preston
manticore
hits
as
up too.
well.
You know, these guys are not the murder factory we are. It's
Amlal flew for a little while.
I'm mentally
That's more
discard
falling
the
with style.
internal notes
I'm
I've been taking about this epic battle.
Amlo, you owe me one spell slot.
All right, let's go.
And as you are going up the stairs, Carlos, Savra pulls you aside,
Ooh,
and she says,
I have this effect.
You into it?
Yes.
"She says, you quite impressed me in that battle, Carlos.
Everybody
and
else is a joke.
You, well, one of you did just jump off a vulture for no reason. So
No reason, just not a very good reason. Let's be clear.
I shot it twice. He only hit once. No, wait, you did hit it twice. Never mind.
I did.
It was just no crit.
he did more damage than you did as well. And she says, you seem like you could be a good addition to the Feathergale Knights, and I wanna tell you that we have a secret mission that we want to master the air elements to thwart our enemies and to save Athos. And I think that if I put in a good word with Thrall, you could become one of our knights."
Carlos is flattered.
This is the longest Carlos has ever considered anything.
Carlos was expecting her to ask him on a date. This is a little bigger commitment than that. Carlos says, "Let's. That sounds very interesting to me. Maybe we should talk about that more. But
Over
let's go
dinner.
to let's go to the feast. What do you say?"
Well, you should tell me now if you're interested, and I can put in a good word for with you with Thrall.
Well, sure. You should put a good word with me with Thrall. I would love that.
Well, consider it done, Carlos. You are a fine man and an even better warrior. Let us toast to your gallantry and your valiant command of the battlefield.
Okay, let's do that. Let us do that.
You all go back to the Great Hall where knights are the knights that you went with are now kind of boasting about the great Manticore, and they're talking about how big it was. It was twice the size of normal Manticores. You all know that it was pretty much the normal size of a Manticore. It seemed to have 2 tails that shot upwards of 40 spines at a time. We swooped in, and this large fellow was knocked off a vulture, but then we did a loop-de-loop and caught him before he splattered on the floor of the desert.
I play a song to that effect. Only the Manticore is 3 times the size of the regular standard Manticore.
I jumped off 2 different vultures.
And everybody's singing along and making up words, and Thrall says, I'm sad to have missed it, though it does sound like no one gets the prize, and he puts his ring back on his finger.
Dang.
Now, while there's merriment going on here, can I sort of sidle over to my companions and reveal to them that the what's actually going on here? That she revealed to me that they are trying to gain control of the air elementals.
Certainly.
All right, I do that.
Okay, so you tell everybody.
That sounds potentially bad.
Yeah, I'm as an air genasi, I am very
Not down with that.
perturbed. Yeah.
Well, they did. Well, I
I mean,
Carlos.
if they simply want to work alongside the air elementals, that's one thing. If they want to try to dominate them, that's another.
Carlos says, I don't know, she just said something about air elementals. It seemed important. That's all I remember.
Dude, she's totally into you.
Air elementals.
Air elementals.
Air elementals.
That's what I said. I said air elementals.
I put quotes around it as if it were code for something else. And so the party continues, and then Thrall, you see Savra whisper as the course of the night goes on. She whispers into Thrall's ear, and he looks at her angrily and kind of does a curt gesture and points her to leave. And so she goes. You notice her leave the hall and go upstairs.
Thrall's not into you.
Well, I'm gonna follow her upstairs.
Oh dear.
Okay, so you follow. You saw her go upstairs, and you see her open the door to her quarters and go in.
Does she close the door?
She does.
I will knock on the door.
She says, "Who is it?"
It's Carlos.
Ah, Carlos, come in.
I go in.
So Carlos.
Is everything all right? I saw you talking to Thrall.
Yeah, well, everything's fine. I may have. I just wanted to make sure that there was no misunderstanding. After the battle, I'm a little excited, and sometimes I have this condition where I say things that other people may misconstrue. I don't know what I said to you particularly, but I hope you didn't think that I was suggesting that perhaps you could join the knighthood. I just get worked up. So, but you're busy. You have a lot of things on your plate.
I have
a man like you
free the slaves in the various city-states. Yeah.
And you don't even like vultures, I don't think. So,
Also, ranged weaponry is not my best thing, and riding on the back of a vulture is not for me. But I'm honored that you would even consider me as one of to be considered a great warrior by a Feathergale Knight is enough. It is especially on such an auspicious day.
Well, yes, a very auspicious day, and no one can argue your battle prowess. So,
indeed,
good on you, Carlos.
All right. Well, as long as everything's all right, I know you seemed a little bit upset when you were talking to Thrall. So,
everything is fine. Thank you for checking.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go back downstairs because there's more stew to be eaten.
That is right. Isn't that stew delicious?
It is, and steamy too.
Most auspicious stew.
And Carlos waves a farewell and goes back downstairs.
All right, and as the night goes on, the party draws to a close one by one. The Feathergale Knights head off to their quarters to sleep off the drink that they have had until it is just you, the remaining party members, and Thrall sitting at the table.
Yeah, we're closing this party down, y'all.
And he says, my knights have told the tale of the Manticore hunt and how heroic you are. And I just wanted to circle back on a discussion we had before about the Sacred Stone Monastery.
Circle back.
Yes,
It is a startup.
Let's see if we could
Drill down on this monastery.
drill down, open our kimonos and
None of that.
And I sense amongst you an adventurous spirit and looking to do right and good in the world.
That was Dan.
Too much
Dan, they're vulture capitalists.
Oh.
Oh man.
Oh dear. So he tells you basically the Sacred Stone Monastery. Really, you must check it out, and he gives you a map where it is.
You must check it out. It is
Have we-
amazing.
Isn't that the place we already went to? Yeah.
Well, he doesn't know that, but yes, you have been to the Sacred
The
Stone Monastery.
the Sacred Stone Monastery, the one with the stones
Didn't
and the
we
monks
more
and
or less
the
just knock
never
on the
heard of
door
it.
and they sent us away, and so we went away.
That's
Yes,
it.
that is the one.
Basically, yeah.
They were very mean.
Should we tell him that?
No, there's no point in mentioning that, I don't think. But it would be nice to maybe ask if he knows anything about the stuff that we're looking for.
About the
seeing as
caravan?
Yeah.
He's asking.
Friend, I think that we could do a lot to be of service to your order in the places that you can't go. Because, when I look at the Feathergale Knights, I see majestic warriors and giant vultures. A giant vulture is just not going to be able to navigate a cave and crawl around in the sewers and just really, like, your cloaks are all white and shiny. And me and my friends, we get our hands dirty, we get our feet dirty, we just everything about us. You show us a sewer, and we will climb through a mile of sludge to murder some guy who is bad. You know how some people think about where their sentences are going before we start? Not us. We're people of action.
Yes, I could sense that, and I believe that we, the Feathergale Knights, are not known for our stealth or subterfuge, and I believe that the Sacred Stone Monastery is quite a close-knit society. We would stick...
if we were to infiltrate to this place, and you say this is a place of great evil,
very, very grave evil,
it would be helpful to us, perhaps if you, in return for us dealing with this great evil and further securing the bold...
Not in return, ask for it up front, dude.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to get there.
Yes,
in
go
exchange for us dealing with this great evil and threat to the Feathergale Society.
Oh, well, not just through the Feathergale Society. No, we are selfless society.
Well, sure, a threat to the Feathergale Society is a threat to Athos.
Well, that's...
Which is where I keep all my stuff.
Me too.
Yeah. But perhaps you could help us a bit, since we have already helped you in so many ways, both today and in the future. Remember that song? The Manticore fight?
Yes, of course. The exploits, the bard, the singing and the drinking. Yes, what pray tell would you need?
Well, we like to be well informed about what's going on, and you have told us already of these shenanigans with these unfortunate elementals that need to be.
Yes, it all seems censored on the Sacred Stone Monastery.
Yes, indeed. But tell us, we have also heard rumor when we were in Freedom of some caravans that ran into trouble. I'm sure with the watchful eyes of the Feathergale Society, you would know if there had been any battles in this area, or caravans interrupted, or perhaps people taken into captivity. We've heard that there was rumor that the Black Earth Clan sometimes had some important prisoners. What would you know of this, friend?
The Black Earth Cult, I believe you mean.
Yes.
And, which I believe they
I believe they're reclassifying as a clan for tax purposes.
Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. They I believe something with the Sacred Stone Monastery is involved with the cultists. I believe it's been infiltrated by the filthy Black Earth Cult. Of course, we have had altercations with the Black Earth Cult because they have been terrorizing the townfolk nearby. In Freedom and beyond. I hear they do things such as create sinkholes in towns and such.
And I'm sure with such fearsome adventurers as yours, you perhaps had the opportunity to take some captives and question them.
Oh, well, I wouldn't characterize us as adventurers. We're a society of do-gooders, you understand. We protect our land, but we have not, we don't take prisoners.
Really?
Where would we store them?
Do you know anything about perhaps some missing halflings that have gone missing near Freedom?
I know nothing of halflings.
Insight check.
We already know he knows.
We know he's
stuff.
lying here.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Shara might be able, given that they're very excited about air elementals, if Shara could intimidate him in some way, since she is herself an air.
I could try to just straight up intimidate him too.
I could burn down this tower.
Insight. Who is rolling insight to see if he's
stone.
telling the truth or not?
Regdar did.
I don't think you've seen my new spells.
We had discussions about escalation.
Oh, 22.
Regdar.
So
Come on.
Regdar, you know he's lying.
Friend, we have been here at the feast. You wouldn't lie to me on this auspicious day.
Of course not. You are a close friend of mine and a battle mate.
But I can see
have no-
the burden of truth weighs heavy on your heart. Let it
Oh,
free. Let it
You're a wise man, Regdar, but we all have our crosses to bear.
Not here,
which
not
doesn't
on this
make any
auspicious
sense
day.
because
This is-
Kennedy doesn't exist here. But
this is the most auspicious day.
Yes.
Is it not true that anyone who comes on this auspicious day can ask a favor of
no, that is not true at all.
Carlos leans forward toward him somewhat intimidatingly.
I'll get the doors.
16.
Somewhat intimidatingly, to the tune
Somewhat.
of 16.
All right. Well, we will see.
It is somewhat.
He puts his hand on your chest and pushes you back and says, "I would need my personal space, friend."
Regdar starts putting out some plastic sheeting on the floor.
Huh.
Sorry, too dark.
It's the toy room.
What was her name again?
Savra.
You're asking me?
Savra?
Safra, yes, that's her name.
Savra?
Oh, the person.
Oh,
Okay.
She makes great hummus.
Carlos, because Carlos
I was waiting
knows
for a
that
hummus joke.
Carlos knows that he's lying. Carlos says, "Give it up. I know that Sabra told me all about the earth elementals, or the air elementals. The air elementals.
I had one job.
Air elementals."
Well,
Carlos.
I'm sure Savra also told you that after a battle, she tends to get excited and perplexed and says the craziest things.
Yes, except in this case, I believe you told her that you rebuked her that she revealed the secrets of this place.
Is quite a complicated sentence.
All right. You know
As
what?
Regdar continues to put down plastic, I ask, do you like
I did not hear what you asked.
do you like Huey Lewis in the news?
I have never heard of such
It
things.
is hip to be square, indeed.
Let me play a little for you.
Can I ask a question? I have used the suggestion spell a variety of times to make people do stuff, like mechanically, like go and fetch a stew and things like that.
Yes.
Can the suggestion spell be?
Yes, it can be used on non-stew things, Tony.
Yes.
No,
But,
it is stew related only.
Oh, I mean, can I use suggestion to just make him spill his guts to us? I mean,
Well, let's go to the rule book.
I make a course of action sound reasonable.
Can't be charms, suggestion, course of action. It is not like a truth spell, so no, like zone of truth.
You could
Well-
like convince him to. I think you could convince him to like.
I suggest you tell us everything you know.
yeah, I don't understand. I don't. Maybe I don't get the spirit of the spell in terms of we can send people to go get stew when we are clearly breaking into their house, but I can't get him to tell me the truth.
So an action that
Suggesting that we're trustworthy might be.
But I don't know
course
if
of
it's like
action-
it has to be like a task, I guess, because it's like a
Well,
command charm, right?
it is a. So I think the key phrase for me there, and it's contextual, is the course of action must seem reasonable. At this point, it
Telling
would
us
not
the
seem
truth about
reasonable to him to tell you the truth after you.
How did we get those guys to
really
find stew? That didn't.
been
Well,
thrilled
Because
to
it
bring
seems
him.
really reasonable to get stew at that point in time.
All right. So I
Well,
do not.
contextually, it seemed their stew, and it was it seemed.
All right.
It is a thing you can get.
Yeah.
That's true. And this is a second level spell, so it seems very
Sure.
powerful. If you could just walk up to anyone and tell me
tell
your
me
deep
your secrets.
secrets. Oh,
All
that
right.
seems completely reasonable, stranger.
All right. So I don't think suggestion's going to help me right now. So I continue with the plastic sheeting.
Amla will. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Char. If you got something.
I've been trying to think how to take Carlos's thought about using being an air genasi to our advantage. The only thing I have is deception, so I could maybe lie and tell them that I commune with the air elementals.
You're
and I know
very
something's up.
disappointed with them.
You could tell her that you are actually an agent, a secret agent of Queen Arisi Kaladoth, and he's passed the test in not revealing their communication and the information about the halfling.
Heck of a bluff.
So you get this across to her with gestures.
All right. Yeah, I could try for that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to deceive this dude into believing that I am an agent of the queen and that she believes in him, but take us to the prisoner, basically.
Okay.
Unless the queen has the prisoner, so maybe make that fuzzy.
Yeah. I rolled an 11.
He looks at you, says, "You are not of anyone I recognize. You, of course, I recognize your parentage. But why would you bring lies to this house when all we offered you was hospitality? Why? What are you people doing? Threatening me in my own home on this, the most auspicious of days."
Come back tomorrow and threaten me.
I feel that you have been quite discourteous, and I believe that you should leave now before you anger me further, and I must make you pay.
All right, Almal slams his hands down on the table really hard. Nope. Just testing.
so hard.
See if table is sturdy. Table pretty sturdy.
I would thank you not to harm our furniture as well.
Listen, my
I
friend,
was having a very pleasant time, but I think it's time for you to leave.
our desires align here. We also want to see the Black Rock cult done away with, or at least put in its place. We do have things we would like to do for you, but as my friends have mentioned, certainly we need some information up front so we can do that more effectively.
I have told you where the Sacred Stone Monastery is. That is where you will find your answers. Now I think you should leave.
Well, there's one more thing I must tell you, and that is that we unfortunately have found, not far from here, one of what appears to be your knights buried in a shallow grave, as though involved in some sort of altercation and then rapidly disposed of.
Man, Kachka's songs always have a certain weight to them.
Yes, this seems to be of no interest to you. You may leave.
Oh, it is of interest to us. We as I've said, we wish to work with you, not against you. And I apologize for the.
You have a very strange way of expressing it. After we feed you, we welcome you. I welcome you into my home, and this is you come with suspicions and
I regaled you with great songs for free. I provided the entertainment for nothing.
And you lied to us about the halfling. The halfling that you sent to your queen.
Audible gasp.
Ah, boy.
So as soon as you say
Lids
that,
off the jar now.
turns into a silver mist and teleports away.
Huh.
Almal not see that coming.
That was dramatic.
This dude's not all that he seems either.
All right.
Is it possible he was aligned with the air element?
Tony, roll an Arcana check.
Almal
24.
peers at his drink and just wonders if he drank too much.
What the metaphor was that?
You know that spell is called Misty Step, and so you look behind you because you know it's a short-range teleportation spell, and you hear the sounds of footsteps going up the stairs.
He's upstairs.
That's chase
Do
after
we
him.
care
To the roof.
at this point? Like, I think we should just go.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Let me
know.
throw this out.
I think he still knows this halfling knowledge that we need to get.
Also, I have just recalled that I can talk to animals. So
Are you gonna go interrogate the vultures?
I was
Anybody
thinking
can
about
talk
it.
to animals on LOL.
Oh, but they talk back.
Oh boy.
Carlos runs up the stairs.
That fourth hour of the D&D
I'm right
session
behind
where
Carlos.
everything just starts to fire on all cylinders.
No.
I am directly behind Carlos, chasing up the stairs.
All right.
All
So
right, everybody's going that way.
I follow them.
I'm going to say that this battle will take longer than 45 minutes. So this is a good ending.
Nobody said anything about battling.
If
I
you
was
are
just going to talk to birds.
well, you
Yeah, I chased them.
a
It's fine.
battle is going to happen.
Oh boy.
I mean, I don't know. Carlos, do we want to go into a battle?
What do you mean?
Carlos doesn't understand that question.
Carlos totally
Not going
Carlos
to
is like-
Carlos is running up the
The
stairs.
thing you said ended in a question mark, and yet it did not make any sense. I mean, I guess we're doing this, right? I mean, they're withholding information that we need. That, I mean, they nominally seem
This
good.
is- Look,
But-
our question here is about elemental magic in general, and they are involved in it. And then he has been deceiving us, and
All right.
is now running away from the.
And we can
the
always
truth.
pull
I'm gonna
punches.
I'm gonna
We don't-
suggest don't.
we don't
like,
have to
We
go.
don't have. We just knock people unconscious. I can make like a ton of acolytes just fall asleep. We don't need to murder anyone.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
we should.
I hope this
Not.
ends with Carlos being the new head of the Feathergale Knights. That's all.
Carlos, Carlos, you want to settle down here? Look at how many you're going to spend all day, every day cleaning windows. Do you see how many
There's-
windows are in
Or
this
mucking out vulture stables. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
This
Not
place
if
is
I'm
like
in charge. If
There's a
I'm
lot
in
of
charge,
overhead.
I'm just hanging out in the solarium or up on my little rooftop
You would-
gazebo.
getting a
You would
suntan.
look good in a white cape with black feathers.
Mhm.
I know, right? It would be much better than this stupid
Tattered
threadbare,
cloak.
tattered gray cloak. Yeah.
That's right.
So when we return, we will find out what Thrall is running to and what our adventurers will do when they meet uncertain doom.
We're all gonna die.
Uncertain doom.
It's uncertain. It
I
might
don't
not
know.
be doom.
How many? How many?
Doom is not certain.
Maybe we should have gone. We should have befriended that Manicore. That was the opportunity.
Really picked
I'm
the
all
wrong
for the-
side in that fight.
All right.
I was trying to give it a hug.
Sort of friendly.
You know what, guys? I think we did a lot of good work today.
Did we?
I think so. I mean, we
Okay.
learned a lot, explored a lot
did.
before a fight broke out, and I feel like
Mhm.
you know, I mean, this was less
You
stupid
should-
than we normally are. So,
This is the longest killing somebody before killing him.
Low bar.
yeah. I don't know. I'm
It's
counting
true,
this
but
as-
we cleared that low bar.
Mm.
I'm counting this one as a win. We've grown as
Yes.
people.
Hey,
Dan
we did it.
remembered that he could talk to animals about an hour and a half after it would have been
And-
useful.
Carlos got to be Columbo, which was very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we all got to do some useful things.
That's
So,
one more thing.
Yeah, Regdar smelled some soup. You know,
You're one with Steam
Sure.
now, so that's something.
yeah. Shara got to sneak around. Kachka got to play some music that caused
Yay!
trouble.
You got to keep an eye on Carlos.
Yeah.
Always
Yep.
important.
Carlos did not actually do anything bad.
Carlos
Amlal,
got
There's got nobody killed.
Amlal jumped off a vulture and kept me from killing a manticore. You know, good
Win
times.
some, you lose some.
Yeah,
and I will say the Manticore would have died if you had thrown a fireball at it.
I knew it.
Or
would've-
if I'd landed on it, one or the other.
I think
they
it would
would've
have
been.
been. I was gonna say, I mean, Dan. Either way, you made my life complicated because if you landed on that Manicore, I can't throw a fireball at it, and if you miss the Manicore, then I've got to save you. So really, either way, you're gonna waste my turn. So, cool. All right, should we stop recording?
Probably so.
Yes. And
Yeah,
I will
let's
stop
just keep it
the
going
live
until-
broadcast. Bye, everybody.
And we had no